Well, welcome everybody to our second KOTD 4 semifinal. This is about as hype a matchup as you can get, as we already have JorDan, who is going to be our blue player to the east of the map, as the Inca's already landing a couple goats of his opponent. And of course his opponent in the yellow, you all know him, he is going to be the Vietnamese, and it is TheViper, doing things that start with the letter V. I tried.
Letter V? I didn't get it.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Well, obviously 2 friends plus Jordan's birthday today.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Jordan.
Happy birthday to Jordan. Let's see if he can make himself a nice present. Obviously friends for like 7-8 years now. TheViper even the godfather of Jordan's child. And now I have to ask you for a prediction for this set. First to 4 wins the full set.
Indeed. I said Viper 4-2. I still think he's the overall stronger player. I know that Jordan is in pretty good shape right now, but I also feel like Viper has that sort of like super high level of gameplay that I haven't quite seen from Jordan yet, like that peak in terms of performance. Like Jordan is super consistent and super solid, and it's how he's in this position, but I still haven't seen that like next level thing to like really put him into like the top 4.
Okay. Well, Hidden Cup performance was quite good there as well. But obviously,
Well, you only needed to win, 3 best of 5s, and again, it was a good, like it was a great result, but that was also a pretty long time ago.
Yeah, agreed. And, well, had a good run in Red Bull 5, fell to TheViper there as well. And I actually would have said the same prediction with the 4-2 for TheViper. Yeah.
But of course, we have to remember that, as you're saying, these two guys, they're friends, they're practice partners, they know each other's styles very well, and I would say that they also have very similar styles. In a vacuum, I'd say that Jordan is, like, all relatively speaking, I'd say that Jordan is the bit more aggressive of the two, especially when it comes to mid-game and wanting to, reach out and do some damage, whereas Viper is the more chill and get to post-imp sort of guy. What do you think?
Yeah, well, chill and get to post-imp is a pretty fitting description for TheViper for sure. But Jordan playing meta so much, that's not typically what is, well, catching TheViper off guard, right? Most of the time, if we see Viper lose, it is against some very strong early aggression.
Exactly, and getting to this point, Viper with an incredibly straightforward win. I even forget who we went up against, but it wasn't very close in this round of 8 match. And Jordan had...
Wasn't it?
Vilessa, yes.
Yeah.
And who did Jordan have to face? It was a really close set.
Tato, 4-3.
Yes. So you could say that Tato is stronger than Vilessa, but Jordan definitely not having like the easiest time getting here, whereas Viper, other than that one series against Say My Name, having a pretty nice time in KOTD 4 so far.
Honestly, say my name. Also, that game number 5 could have gone in the other direction. Like, it's so crazy, right? How TheViper just could have been out so early, and he could be, like, slapped back to Age of Empires 4. And, well, now he's flirting with the finals.
Exactly, and I also have to say that, yeah, Viper had some really weird decision-making in that series, but that was also Say My Name playing incredibly well. Like, that was a really fun series, but Viper did ultimately pull it out, and this goes to show how fragile things are here in the top of the AoE2 world. On one day, one player can be better, and then on another day, the other player can be better, and it can just lead to drastically different results in the tournament. But now we're getting to Feudal Age, Nilly. Both players going with the 2 Militia Drush, the new kid on the block.
Yeah, we have seen it so much, and apparently 2 Militia as good as 3 Militia. You don't need to collect the gold. They're still annoying, and villagers, well, don't really want to fight against the 2 Militia, and still you have to do the same amount of walling.
Yeah, and the way I've always been characterizing it for people is that with the 2 Militia Drush that we've been seeing, it's not so much about getting villager kills, and I mean, no Drush is ever really about getting villager kills unless you're against a certain type of player. But it's about making sure that your opponent can't be fully walled. They have to like quick wall in their villagers at their, forge bushes, wood lines, just like we're seeing Jordan do, and Viper as well. And it's about being able to get to Feudal Age quickly behind it and then follow up with a lot of deadly archers.
Yeah, and as I mentioned in the set before, that the Viper winning King of the Desert 1 and 2, and in the King of the Desert 2 finals, I think 8 out of 9 games, he played this rush into flush strategy, so kind of his bread and butter in this tournament.
Yeah, it's a sort of like a very Viper style sort of thing. He seems like the more Drush oriented player, not so much Men at Arms, definitely not like Men at Arms and Tower Rush. Whereas JorDan, I think we've been seeing a decent amount of variety, like a lot of Drushes for sure, but I definitely remember him opening Scouts and Men at Arms and Straight Archers, so I suspect a little bit more variety from him.
Yeah, but one of the clear Scout civilizations already banned away from him. Frank's a civilization that JorDan really likes, banned before we even get into the set.
Indeed, but that is just the nature of the beast, and everybody gets 2 bans, and we've been seeing a lot of different bans. I mean, we've been seeing, yes, we have Aztecs, Mayans, Chinese picked or banned in every single set, but based on my stats spreadsheet, aka Nerfox's stats spreadsheet, those are the only 3 civs that have appeared in every single draft. Every other civ has less than 100%, so there is a decent amount of variety here.
Oh, really? There's some civs? Like, how far are we going in there? Is that best of 3s? Best of...
Initially, it was based on the
best
entire
5s?
tournament, but I asked Nerfox to separate it between the qualifiers and then from the round of 32 onwards.
Yeah.
So from the round
Wow.
of 32 onwards, only Mayans, Aztecs, and Chinese have the 100% pick rate or ban rate.
Okay, and that was with all the lots of bands, so... Out of the... That feels so wrong, though. Because I thought, like, Franks... Well, they have to be, like, not played once then or something.
I mean, there
Or
are
picked
several
once.
civs in like the 90% plus range, and Franks are definitely one of them. Vikings as well, but it's still not like a guaranteed thing, and that's how we get these few games with Chinese, with Aztecs, with Mayans that crop up every now and again, and we see why those civilizations are so good, as I think all of them have a pretty good win rate.
Yeah. Well, and I heard rumors that Incas apparently are extremely strong on the ladder now. Did you hear the same? How are they performing in KOTD?
They are performing quite well in KOTD. They have quite a good win rate. In part, it's because of their lambing potential. Being an Eagle Scout civ, they just have that going for them, as we saw from JorDan already. But beyond that, I mean, you're just super flexible. I feel like sometimes people don't give Incas the credit they deserve for just how many different things they can go for. They can be aggressive, they can just kind of chill and go to late game, and go on from there.
Okay, let me permit Nerfox to post his link for a minute. And then he can share the full love with the chat as well. People can look into that one. Great work there. And obviously something beautiful to talk about in a 16-minute game with the 0-0 KD.
Well, these guys are definitely playing quite passively. It's not the same level of aggression we've seen from other players in this tournament. Both kind of just feeling each other out, content to wall, and sit back and at least take it probably towards Castle Age. We already have Wheelbarrow in for the Viper. JorDan not opting for that upgrade just yet. Neither two even eager to wall in. It's just, okay, let's get to Feudal Age and just wall in that way. And I guess that begs the question, what do you think of the Civ matchup going into mid-game with both players being so even?
I think it's relatively even as well, not only the game but also the Civ matchup. I think Incas, yeah, they can make some stuff happen with Eagle play, but Vietnamese, they're strong with crossbows. They can put like 2 elephants in front if they're facing the massive Eagle amount. And, well, going into Imp, Arbalest can do something. I don't see like anything that's just crazy strong for one Civ.
No, I agree. Interestingly, Vietnamese also have a fantastic win rate in this tournament. I don't remember the exact stats, but it's like close to 8-4 or something like that. Just a really strong civ. In a lot of situations, they have an early military bonus with their tankier archers and skirmishers. And then, of course, you have the eco upgrades not costing any wood is really handy. You can go for knights in the mid-game just fine. You have bloodlines, husbandry, all that good stuff. And I think something that's really important to point out in this game is that JorDan did the trademark Gamer Legion move of using the market, selling the stone and getting to Castle Age, but even in doing so, he's still a little bit slower than Viper, which could be a bit of an issue.
Both going for big walls, and Viper, he will get in there with some archers and a skirm. That's an easy will pick off. Easily gets the Spearman with that as well. And that's quite some doodle for JorDan. And he walls in those villagers.
That's definitely quite uncomfortable. There are 4 archers here, and well, that means that the walls aren't going to do all that much. And oh no, villagers trying to rush over here. There is a bit of a hole. Looks like the scout is going to just sit back for a little bit, but with only skirmishers, that's relatively high HP scout can be annoying once again. And it doesn't seem like JorDan's really getting the same amount of damage done on the other side.
Not really. Sits under there. Viper relatively open here, and Viper apparently just wants to wait for Botkin and then tries to engage again. Skirm being a bit annoying. Oh god. Nice indirect damage by the Viper.
Yeah, certainly. It just means that JorDan has to stay at home. He can't really get into a good position to get any damage done. It's going to give Viper the opportunity. He can drop the university, no problem. Going to be going into ballistics, and he just has this threat right here, right now. Ballistics, well, not even ballistics, bodkin arrow in, and then crossbowman in just a moment. And these villagers are going to be very scared. They need to get some infantry armor upgrades. Not really.
Not really. Yeah, they could have, but they didn't. And Skirm's now running into the TC. Scout doing some damage. And villagers just running around. Look at the worker efficiency.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out. Really nice stat to have with capture age these days. Around 35-ish% less efficient of an economy. Elite skirmisher upgrade incoming from JorDan. That already feels pretty painful because it's such an expensive upgrade. I believe 230 wood, 160 gold. And those are resources you wish you were spending on, like, you know, literally anything else. Viper able to get heavy plow, able to get ballistics, and he's still in a good spot to do damage.
Oh man, and JorDan, he can't be happy with how he's starting into this set. Still some army around trying to chase here, but loses some of his skirms. Plays super defensively. Viper goes for TC number 2 behind this. Viper will break the top there, and villagers, some of them low, one of them even dying.
And JorDan's villagers are just running around. They have no idea what they can be doing. His wood income is just so heavily, well, made inefficient by Viper, who is even able to drop that second town center. So not only is he ahead, but he is going to be getting even more ahead. +2 defense comes in for JorDan. That's going to make his skirmishers trade against the crossbowmen quite well. Viper not even with any defense upgrades, but still, Viper can just fall back and know that he's in a good spot.
Indeed he is, but villager count behind this, even after 4 kills, completely even. That's mainly though because the Viper, look at that, wheelbarrow, in total 5 eco upgrades, while JorDan sits only on 2.
That Vietnamese bonus, I was talking about it in the last set, it's actually really handy on a map that's aggressive like Arabia, because you're able to just make your eco upgrades, but then also drop all of those very, you know, at that point in the game, expensive buildings. You drop those archery ranges, universities, make extra farms in early feudal age. It's just really nice wood savings when you really need that wood. And Viper even dropping a 3rd TC in the back. Again, he knows he's ahead. Just chill, hang back, and then get to late game. Also going to be making in a switch to skirmishers just to make sure he's extra safe.
And he's back with his crossbows. 8 crossbows, enough to one-shot a villager. Maybe sitting behind the wood line could find some kills, especially if JorDan is distracted at the front.
Yep, both players hanging around here with some skirmishers. JorDan, expert usage of the box formation. Nice micro from him, but still, Viper being annoying. Oh, even sniping the crossbowman is quite nice. And just, I love Viper everywhere at once, seemingly, with these ranged units. And JorDan just can't even really catch a breath in this game.
Now he's 8 villages ahead, still and 1 eco upgrade. So this is now the big advantage that we kind of were expecting for quite some time. Just beautiful play with the double army attack.
Oh yeah, just really streamlined play from Viper. Pretty much since the Drush came in Dark Age, JorDan hasn't really been able to cross the map. And that's meant that Viper can have a significantly more efficient economy. He's starting to get ahead in terms of resources collected and villager count. And we're in a situation where, okay, if I'm JorDan, what can I do to actually get back in this game? I feel like if you're just sticking with skirmishers and just hoping to take good trades, that's not really going to be a winning game plan.
Well, what is a better game plan? Is it going Eagles? I think something like all-inish with, all-inish with some siege. But Viper's just in so much control.
Yeah, having already such a larger army, it's not like his army is pure skirms either. He does have a nice mix of the two units, archers and skirms. Now, coming forward, more villagers are going to be in trouble. Ballistics just now in for JorDan, loses a couple more vills. 10 villagers killed for the Viper. He is not remotely exposed with his eco, and this is just the incredibly clean play that we expect from Viper.
Oh man, obviously just getting in there at the bottom gave him so much control, and then an additional like 10-15 seconds earlier castle time and did get botkin so early. Viper felt like JorDan can never engage into him, and yeah, this just looks dominant.
Viper getting an advantage and then just never letting JorDan have a chance to get back in the game. JorDan did have to engage in a bit more walling. It's why he was open, and Viper wasn't quite as much. But even so, it just goes to show how powerful these age-up timing advantages can be. I mean, we saw it from Vinchester like this entire tournament. If you have ranged units in your opponent's face as you hit the next stage, it can just be a complete nightmare for your opponent to ever make anything happen. And uh-oh, now the mango is here at the party.
Skirmishes tried to run defensive siege workshop here for JorDan. He needs some big hits, but even then, 20 villagers behind already.
Absolutely dominating performance here from the Viper. Mangonel just now started from JorDan. He needs that like a minute ago. Handcard even coming in for Viper. He is just big chillin' this entire game. JorDan's trying to build a TC way over here in the east of the map. And I feel like in part, this goes back to even before the archers from Viper came in, he was able to get a faster castle age time without needing to use the market, which meant he did have just a more efficient economy in the early game. And yeah, those small differences can snowball really quickly.
For example, into an earlier handcard timing. Viper housed right now, well, is building some. This is just full control. And honestly, I'm not even sure, like, Viper's big weakness is that he sometimes takes time to get into a set. We have seen his win rate being way lower in game 1s than in game 5s, for example. And maybe giving him such a long game 1 might have been a mistake.
Yeah, well, GG well played. Thrown out there by JorDan. Yeah, Viper just under 80% worker efficiency for that entire game. Very solid. Around, like, 2,000-ish more resources collected. 47 kills to 18 deaths. It's just on every single statistic you look at, Viper was just a bit ahead of JorDan, even with 3 more APM.
Yeah. Well, what can we say? JorDan maybe moving out before being fully walled was a mistake there. At least that's what it felt like.
Yeah, and it was sort of, okay, JorDan, he's looking to go out on the map, but he didn't really have anything to punch through Viper's walls. Whereas Viper, yeah, he had like his scout cavalry and just one layer of palisades. Yeah, he could buy some time with it, but it still just, it felt like JorDan wasn't going to ever accomplish anything with going out on the map like that.
Yeah. Simply like there was only one funnel where the army was waiting, and on the other side, JorDan completely out of position. And then 3 archers, 1 skirmisher, instantly deciding the game. Viper felt in control.
Very much so, but this is the best of 7, and
only pick number 7 gone.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Viper going with sort of a middle pick civ with Vietnamese. JorDan going with one of his lower picks. Not the end of the world. I don't think we had a chance to talk about the draft much. Do you think there's anything too wild here?
My chat is believing that the Viper has the better draft. I think it's reasonably close. I personally would prefer Vipers, but certainly not by a lot.
Yeah, I think that it comes down to playstyle. Once you really get past, in my opinion, Mayans, Aztecs, Chinese, yeah, you have some like other high-tier civs, but it becomes quite open in terms of what you can go for. It's not like, oh, you need to go for this civ, and it's going to be instantly dominating against this other civ. Bulgarians is an interesting pick because we have not seen them, I believe, at all in the group stage onward.
Okay.
So maybe you can see something happen with them. As Men-at-Arm Rushes, they were super popular, but have since kind of fallen off in terms of the 2 militia drush.
True. Yeah, Bulgarian, something we have not seen that often, but also pick number 8. And, well, next civilizations will be Britons for the Viper, so goes for his pick number 2.5. And JorDan goes for Khmer, so his pick 3.5.
Interesting matchup. If I could get into the game, that would be great. Ah, there we go. This is like a matchup where I feel like both civs have some decent options against the other. Oh, wow, that's quite quickly getting here into game number 2. But
Yep. They didn't waste a lot of time, right? I also jumped in like with not too much spec delay.
And indeed, here we are in game number 2 in this best of 7. Looking dominant after that game number 1 win, we will have the Viper in the yellow as the Britons to the south of the map, and to the northeast in the blue as the Khmer, looking to just shake that first game off and turn it around. It's going to be JorDan. What do you think of this matchup, Nilly?
I think Britons are really reliant on good gold spots. And that's why we've seen, for example, in KOTD 3, them having a horrible, horrible win rate. Maybe Nerfox can look up that one again, but I think they went down to like 15% or something in the final stages.
Yeah, I remember that.
But we also had even more open gold spots on that one. This map looks really solid for the Viper, with the defensive gold berries reasonably close, defensive wood lines, and I think he can play a reasonable game. In general, Khmer, pretty happy to make it wild and messy, while Britons, they kind of want to have a controlled game and one army fight through the center.
Look at that big bird party over at JorDan's base. Now they're kind of flying towards the middle of the map. We've got all the vultures and storks.
It's so many. What's happening there?
You know, it's migration time, I suppose.
Well, winter's coming.
Indeed it is. It was snowing a little bit earlier here. But regardless, JorDan doesn't really have any back wood lines, but he does have his fruit bushes in the back, which is quite nice. And it's also not too difficult to wall as far as things go. And the gold is at least away from Viper-ish, kind of. So I do prefer Viper's map, but not by a significant margin.
Yeah, JorDan reasonably open there. Still didn't find all his sheep. Maybe pushes one deer. Not really the biggest deer pusher. More of a guy who likes to scout. More of a guy who likes to know what's up.
Yeah, the decision to go for the deer equivalent pushing with the zebra and the ostrich, it's one that has actually played a very large impact when it comes to laming, because if you go for a super early deer push, then, well, if your opponent just runs forward, you don't have your own goats scouted, so then your opponent takes them. So I kind of like this idea of at least making sure you know where your goats are, and then you can go for, you know, like a deer zebra afterward, or you can just go out on the map and see where your opponent is going to be really important when it comes to a drush.
Yeah. That's kind of the approach that lots of GL players had lots of times, right? Not really the most notorious deer pushers. I think Tato always said he only pushes deer if he found all his boars and sheep before like minute 3:30 or something, he said.
Yeah, and it's in my opinion the safer approach, especially in, you know, this is a very high stakes tournament, so your players are going to lame as much as they can. And there are a lot of great civs for doing it. You have all 3 American civs, and then you have Vietnamese and Mongols, all likely just to run forward and take some of your resources. But that's not really the case in this particular game. Viper just going to be going to a wood line. Notably, he did start with only 3 on wood, but I feel like this could just be for a quick feudal age into archers play from Britons.
Yeah, feels very likely. He's also a guy that sometimes plays man-at-arm openings with 3 on wood, but already second lumber camp, so this will be a pop 19 archer defense.
This is a very quick uptime for Britons, but of course they do have a strong Dark Age. You get the faster working shepherds. And, well, what is our Khmer player, JorDan, going to be up to? He's going to be going up on 20 pop. And with Khmer, I think they really like facing not scout openings. Because if you're in a scout war, then you have to deal with not having spearmen, or you have to build the barracks, but then you lose that huge bonus. And whoa, where are you guys going? Oh, okay, this is for a lumber camp.
Not a lot of villagers on gold yet. Is the Viper playing a scout opening here? Build up looks exactly like it.
Yeah, and sure, why not?
The woodlines are really bad for JorDan. Like spearman scout against that?
Yeah, like I was just saying, Khmer, they really don't want to build a barracks if they don't have to. But in a scout war situation, you better be full walled if you're not going with the barracks. And in this current version of Arabia, also with palisades being nerfed in the last patch, it's just a lot harder to go for that play style of, yeah, you open scouts and then you just mitigate your not having a barracks by being completely walled early on. It's just too hard to do now.
Okay, let's just calm down. 2 on gold being sent there. It will be the archer defense that we expected initially.
All right.
Boring.
JorDan actually trapping his 2 villagers in. Does he expect a scout opening from Viper?
I think that's a mistake against archers.
Yeah. Because if you're up against archers, which you would kind of expect Britons to be going for rather quickly, then those villagers, they can't escape until they either mine their way through or you delete the mining camp.
Well, maybe he should just focus on the mine to the bottom then. But maybe they clump up into each other. Archer range by JorDan. Oh, okay. So skirm approach against the archer approach. But Viper? Okay, late with his archer. Goes for horse color first. And yeah, switches. He's now going for skirms. Only 1 on gold.
I guess that's just an adaptation to seeing that his opponent's also going for archers. Here, the Briton team bonus really can shine quite a lot. You don't even need to worry about Castle Age and your longer range archers. Just having the faster skirm production and archer production in Feudal Age means that you can just get that early numbers advantage and just snowball that like crazy. But JorDan, again, a bit more of a passive approach early on, getting a blacksmith, just starting to wall up towards his woodline. I mean, he knows that they are pretty much off in Neptune, so you need to make sure you don't die.
Will we see scouts added though? If both players are going for skirms, that's actually your typical transition.
Well, it's just a blacksmith for Viper. I mean, when we see the scout transition, it's usually a little bit later into Feudal Age, right? When you already have, say, 8 to 10 mix of archers and skirms.
Oh, okay.
So I guess we could be seeing that switch a little bit later, but considering that both players went pretty greedy, going for horse collar right away, the upgrade I apparently talk about the most in this entire tournament, because it seems to be the... It's just like a big decision point in the early game, whether you go for the super aggressive opening, you just can't get that upgrade, but then your farms are all running out of wood in early Castle Age, and you're sad. But no, both players here going with the much more economic approach.
Okay, then I will have to rewatch your cast from Leary's Caesarean's approach.
Oh, don't worry. I was very sad.
Did you mention it at all that he didn't get?
Oh, you bet I did. Come on, Nilly. Oh, man. Well, fletching is going to be in it for both players. There are some archers here for JorDan, and I guess some for Viper as well. Both players probably just going to be trying to camp their respective hills, maybe annoying these villagers a little bit, but I don't see any large amounts of damage being done as JorDan is just eventually going to wall all the way to the edge of the map.
But the Viper, he's annoying, and he wanted to go a bit further to the right-hand side because he's sneaking with 2 archers on the left-hand side, and I think pushing JorDan to this hill is exactly what he does not want to do.
Yeah, that's... I like the play with the 2 archers here because in this big fight, the archers are just going to be picked off by the skirmishers because you're almost always going to want to focus those units in this particular matchup between this like skirm archer army compositions. So just sending the archers around trying to harass some villagers, but as you were saying, Viper just kind of pushing the army of JorDan there anyway. But still, foragers could be a little bit exposed. They're going to need to jump into that house most likely.
Let's see. Archers. Oh, they didn't really shoot. Still microing there at the front. We're just being pushed back, but yeah, they will be saved. Still, no losses here.
Nope.
First archer goes down.
First blood.
Were you the voice actor there? Okay. What? It's a Microsoft game?
Yeah, it's from Halo.
First Blood is from Halo?
Thought it was.
I thought it was Quake or something. Thought it was like an old school shooter.
It's from Dota?
No, it's not from Dota.
No.
Mortal
From Mortal
Kombat?
Nah. Unreal Tournament?
Unreal Tournament is something I could see more, yeah.
Yeah. Quake?
Quake.
Okay.
Quake is something like, yeah.
Okay.
Or Unreal Tournament? It's one of the two. I was pretty sure. Yeah. Double archery range
Always
now by
rely
the
on
Viper.
chat.
Yeah. By the way, are you not streaming yourself?
I
Or
am.
are the same? Okay, so the same people typed on both streams apparently, because well, every single time you read something, it was posted on my chat as well.
Oh, I just have both chats open.
Okay. Ah, you're such kind of a professional caster. Okay.
Oh yeah, you know me, Nilly.
I don't
Top-tier
even.
professional.
I don't even read my own chat.
I try to not.
Original from Halo, but Nintendo did the thing where they time travel. Ah, okay. Okay. Quake mod. Okay. So it's UT or Quake. Let's say it's not Halo for sure,
Okay.
and not a Microsoft game.
Feels bad, man. But regardless, Viper grabbing wheelbarrow, JorDan gonna be clicking up to Castle Age a little bit faster. Chimera Eco is still a very strong force to be reckoned with. One of the best economies in the entire game, in my opinion, even still. Lots of food, but still Viper is gonna be, I think, totally fine. Resource collected is pretty even.
Those players are playing reasonably passive, although Viper, does he have a number advantage now? It's 15 units there in the center against 6. JorDan wants to go back on that hill, and Viper will be fully walled reasonably soon. And he's getting into that controlled game that he wanted. Still a bit surprised with wheelbarrow, something we don't see too often in Field Age.
What do you think about the upgrade? I mean, the sort of general wisdom over the years is that, you know, somewhere around 13 to 15-ish farmers is when wheelbarrow starts to become efficient, but it also can delay your Castle Age time. And that's exactly what we're seeing right here is JorDan's going to be, let's call it a little less than a minute and a half faster. You think it's worth it?
I feel like the first upgrade, or like build one villager and then an upgrade once you hit Castle Age, feels so much smoother. Unless you play like full double stable, full feudal age aggression. I think it delays my Castle Age time too much. And I'm actually shocked, and that shows you how low the level still is in Age of Empires 2, that no one really sat down and did the math.
Yeah, it's crazy how the the skill ceiling, it's incredibly high, but it's still, there's always further it can be pushed, and then it really should and will be pushed going forward. But here we are, hitting Castle Age's JorDan already here, taking the fight. He has an army advantage to begin with. Elite Skirmisher and Bodkin on the way. And Viper, he can't do anything except run away.
Archer range is not working from him. Is he transitioning into something? Gate now. I see some more archers. No stables. I think he has to build a siege workshop.
Yeah, that would be probably a good idea. Just gonna Mangonel, help defend. He does have cheaper TCs with Britain, so you can just add an extra eco quite comfortably. That said, JorDan already doing just that with a TC to the northwest of his base. In a little bit of a weird position because this KOTD really, really hates having you build town centers in good spots.
Yeah. That's why I doubted the map generation so much. Viper now pushes that one out. I think it should go up quite reasonably well. Siege workshop as well, and I think really Viper, I wouldn't be surprised if he builds TC at the right hand side as well.
Eh, why not? I really don't like one TC play with Britons just because it feels like you have such a great opportunity to just add in TCs, and with a really cheap army, it's not like going for the eco approach just kills all potential like military options. So I like to see that from Viper. Still, these skirmishers are in a good spot for JorDan on top of this little hill, dying some farm space. But no, the Scorpion's going to come out, and it's going to poke away at the skirms.
Oh, did more than poking. One got poked to death, and ooh, JorDan lining up for the shot there.
Lining them up. Scorpions are kind of an interesting unit that they really have been seeing a lot more play recently, just as players have gotten better at dodging mangonels. And we see that, you know, once you get up to like 4 or 5 scorpions, they just kind of start killing everything.
Yeah, so true. This time, actually, it was a bit different because the Viper simply didn't have the gold for the mangonel, so he could only squeeze out the scorpion, had to build the TC first, and I think the next unit is probably going to be the mangonel.
Yeah, the scorpion also trains faster than the mangonel, and, you know, Viper had a very sort of immediate danger with those skirmishers, so I think that totally justified. But third TC coming in here from JorDan, and it's going to be the Great Gamer Legion Boom Off. It's the much less popular spin-off to the Great British Bake Off.
I was asked before the set who is going to build more TCs, the Viper or JorDan. What would you have said?
I would have said Viper.
Okay, I think I said JorDan.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Heavy plow coming in.
What was game 1's TC count?
3-2-2.
Okay. So you're 1 ahead.
I am. But there's still plenty of runway left here for these guys to be making more town centers. Mangonel is indeed coming in for Viper, as you were saying. Pure skirmisher play from JorDan. And now I guess my question becomes, as Khmer, what are you doing for a gold unit? Because right now you're just making skirmishers, and that's not really the scariest thing in the world. I mean, yeah, you can snipe a stray villager here and there, but at some point you're going to want to make something that's better than skirmishers. Although, yeah, nice little villager snipe, but
I most of the
what
time
would you say?
Don't do too many. I most of the time try to go like heavy over boom, 4 TC, latest on the way to Imp, and then just go Hussar, Elite Skirmisher spam. And if they force me into something, then probably Arbalest. Most of the time the unit that forces you the most is if they go into the champion direction.
Yeah, and we've been seeing that a bit more recently, since the swordsman line have gotten all of those buffs. It's been really fun to see and fun to play.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like most of my ladder games recently, I've just been going mass swordsman.
Okay. Clapping those 1400s on. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we're getting towards 1200 at this rate.
Oh no, because of the longsword, man.
No. Oh no, I'm still at 1700, but
Okay,
still
okay.
pleb land.
Well, 1700 is damn solid. And you
Yeah.
will still find games, right? I heard some people on higher levels are struggling.
Yeah. That once you get to well into the 2K range, it's getting a little bit more difficult, just because there are so few players out there that, well, the chances of one of them queuing up is not as likely as you would probably want.
Yeah, especially now with KOTD, everyone practicing behind closed doors to get the best practice. And, well, I think this is finally the moment where we could see a big fight here. Double Mangonel against only one. Bad shot
Not
by
going
the
for the
Viper.
delete.
The Viper was not watching there.
Nope. But we have ballistics in for both players. And of course, skirms are just going to struggle to deal with mangonels. Especially because, well, one, they just have a 50% slower attack rate compared to the crossbowmen. And of course, with Britons, you actually get to outrange the mangonels. 4th TC in for Viper. So now I'm 2 ahead. Ha!
Well, it's unfair. He had Britons I didn't know before.
Yeah.
No one picked humans.
Only Viper in that game versus Say My Name.
Yeah, I meant no one of those two picked in the
I know.
sets. 70 HP for that Mangonel. Tries to go back. Viper tries to snipe from distance. That could be risky here. Mangonel moves back. Still survives.
Oh, it's a close one. That looks like a 1-for-1. And Mangonel chunks down a couple more skirmishers, but with the leather archer armor in for JorDan, Viper is going to have to be quite careful. Just going to try and poke and run with those crossbowmen. Gets a couple kills, but you just really can't commit to this sort of fight if you are our yellow player.
Yeah, I think we need to disengage here. And I'm really surprised the Viper's even trying to micro. It feels like every single time he's stopping, he will have more losses.
Yeah, and the crossbowmen aren't even guaranteed to get a skirmisher, just with all of that pierce armor in. And now it looks like it's going to be for the stable switch. I mean, he sees that JorDan's army is almost entirely based in skirmishers, so doesn't matter if Britain knights aren't amazing. You just need knights right now.
Yeah. Well, skirmishers low HP now as well. I think just mass mangonel is the play. I don't really think you needed those stables. Don't expect him to build too many knights. Maybe like 4 or 5. Also good in sniping the mangonels.
Yeah, exactly. I like that you're not reliant on your crossbows or mangonels to snipe the enemy mangonels. So I do like that a bit, but JorDan, with the power of Chimera farming, also not investing into the 4th TC, going to be going up to the Imperial Age ahead of Viper, not just ahead, but well ahead of Viper. But Viper is investing into the stone for a castle.
Maybe human is an option here. Don't really see that in Castle Age. Nice ground attack!
Very nicely done there from JorDan. Now we got Bloodlines coming in for our blue player. Only 9 villagers on gold. I mean, this I think is pretty clearly going to be for the Hussar play. And they go all trash unit all day long. We've been seeing a lot with his army composition with Indians in this tournament. Just going for mass skirmishers and then Imperial Age making that switch over into Hussars. But Khmer are going to be doing that just as well, if not even better.
The Viper have floating lots and lots of wood. Look at that. I'm a bit surprised. Tries to
Well, of course,
expand
Nilly,
it.
wood floats. You know, it doesn't sink. Gold's gonna sink, stone's gonna sink, steak's probably gonna sink.
Okay.
Viper just now clicking up to Imp, but he is gonna be a little under 2 minutes slower.
Okay.
Nilly questioning why he agreed to cast with me.
No, well, I kind of should have known what I signed up for.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think I will steal that one.
Okay. Sure, why not?
No.
Oh man, Castle's coming in for Viper, and especially as I would say that the Arabia meta before KOTD, as Viper actually gets a few nice villager kills with these knights, but before KOTD, I would say the meta was heavily focused around like fast imp arbalest timings, and when players are struggling against that, I always just recommend just build stuff. Castles are ideal, but just having as many buildings as possible, it's going to help a lot against these fast Imperial Ages, or at least relatively speaking. Of course, this isn't for arbalests, it's for elite skirmishers, but still, similar principle applies. You're not going to be dying if you have a bunch of castles.
Yeah. So good in defense. Viper puts them on the hills, love them. And he is going for lots of stables. He's going for light calf here, I believe. He's sitting on 42 farmers. Or is there a chance that we see Cavalier? Now more archery ranges as well.
Yeah, more stables. I mean, the thing that Britons always lack is just that mobility. They have one of the slowest armies in the game, just with archers and halbs and siege and whatnot. But getting that light cav, yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's at least something. And for an opponent who's, completely wide open, not really walled at all anymore, it could be a very strong option going forward.
Knights are back with the raid at the right-hand side. Won't really do too much. Mainly sitting on skirmishes here. And we'll go for more hussars. And JorDan, yeah, only 13 villages on gold. So he will stay with exactly that army composition. And I think it's a good one for the long run until Viper gets a tech switch in there somehow. But that would probably be champions if you are Britons.
And Britons do have good champions. They do have all the upgrades. What I will say is that JorDan was a good bit faster to the Imperial Age, even had a bit of a larger army, but he wasn't able to make anything happen with it. And Viper's able to get to Imperial Age himself pretty comfortably, and he's going to have 146 villagers to 116, so that's a pretty sizable difference.
Yeah, but is it a good difference, is the question. Like, Viper now banking up resources. Yeah, he gets the +4 armor on his light calf, but still, like, what's your Britain's game plan if you only have 55 military units?
55 Werewolf Trebs beats everything.
Okay. Except 56 Werewolf Traps.
Oh, you got me.
And 57 Werewolf Traps.
All right, beating up
And
to
58
54 Werewolf Trebs.
Okay.
But yeah, going for Arbalests, I think just camping under your castles and then trying to go for some light cav raids is probably going to be your best bet. slowly creep out on the map with more town centers, more castles, and just play a super sort of slow game where you try to outgrind your opponent. But the issue with that is going to be you're still wide open to the Hussar raids of Khmer. We have that upgrade coming in for JorDan, and it's just such a deadly tool against any Civ, but especially a slow one like Britain's.
What I would love to see from JorDan is siege ramps. Right? Just 2 siege workshops at the right-hand side, 2 siege workshops at the left-hand side, and play the long game. And just be super annoying, and Britain struggles so much in dealing with that.
It is the traditional Britain killers, the siege ram. It's the unit of their nightmares. And regardless, both players at around max pop, around similar army values, but I mean, JorDan has a bunch of skirmishers against a bunch of things that are countered by skirmishers. The Hussars are going to be a meat shield as well, and this is going to be really rough for the Viper.
And he felt like a bit clueless here how to play this one out, right? Maybe he goes into more onagers, but so many Arbalists dying here already.
That is not what I would call value, or at least not good value. And is JorDan just going to run Viper over with a bunch of trash units? Because that's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
It feels like it. Arbalists are dying quite quickly. Like, Viper will get onto a better army, might just take into elite longbowman, and will not be killed for a very long time, I believe. But I see all the winning conditions on JorDan's side. 3 relics
I also really appreciate how JorDan was able to scoop up already 3 relics. He had the map control, and in the long run, if this game does go long, it's going to be just a very nice extra boost to your economy.
Some more mangonels for the Viper. Both players obviously pop limit. Not a lot of raids are happening. JorDan should get relic number... Oh, he didn't scout the right-hand side corner. So eventually he should get another relic there. So likely to be 4 against 1 or 0.
Well, KOTD for Arabia always spawns with a plus-shaped relic distribution. So 1 in the middle and then 1 in each corner. So you should just realize, okay, there's... You know, there has to be 1 in the corner, right? But obviously with how many things are going on right now, he might not exactly remember where the relics are coming from. We do have the longbowman switch from Viper. Yes, they're going to be really good, but you're going to need to get the elite longbowman upgrade. It's 850 food, I believe. Not really something you can afford right now if you're Viper. And it doesn't help the issue of the Hussars running in absolutely everywhere.
5 castles here for the full defense. It is such a... nice defense overall, but I simply don't see the Viper ever really moving out. And finally we see Yeoman for more range on those Arbalists.
Viper obviously trying to get his network of castles bonus. Gotta get that faster fire rate for your Arbalists.
I'm surprised that he's not outpost rushing everywhere.
Where are the Arbs on top of the walls?
Wrong game, Onlu.
Yeah, I know.
Please behave.
We have 2k gold for JorDan. I mean, he's just chilling. He doesn't need to tech into anything else for the time being. I mean, sure, you can just, like, go rams or even elephants eventually, but right now it's like you don't need to stop what isn't... You don't need to stop what is already working.
Now throwing away quite a lot of his army. Skirms are diving in. Lots of Hussars lost, but he will just be happy with constantly trading off against the Arbalist. But that was probably one of the worst engagements in this game for him.
It was, in fact, a really bad engagement. You can see the KD was pretty even, which was nice for JorDan in that he was losing trash units for gold units. But right now, Viper taking a significant lead in that regard. JorDan's kind of falling a little bit in terms of population. And Viper, he's getting Warwolf. The Ornlu Wolf upgrade, Poggers.
Poggers indeed. 68 farms. Honestly, with Khmer and with this playstyle, I wouldn't even mind to see 80 farms for JorDan there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, why not? Everything you make costs food. Oh my god, he's making ballista elephants, Nilly.
Okay. To do what?
Die. The ballista elephant is my single least favorite unit in the game.
Oh, really? I love
Yeah.
I love the fact that how they can cut through trees.
Oh yeah,
I don't like them
that's
fighting.
cool.
Yeah.
But I think that the ballista elephant might as well have 0 attack for how useful it is as a combat unit. It's cool because it can cut trees, and then that's literally it.
Actually, I
It
was
might as well be a flaming camel.
I was an advocate to actually make, like, in the pre-alpha of what was it called, Rise of Rajas. I actually played like a balance game and had Khmer. We played King of the Hill, and I had like 60 elephants in the center and like was attacked by 220 infantry and just mowed down everything with losing 3. And then I made a long article like how they needed to be changed to be not as strong as they are. And I think they got stronger after that, and now are still completely trash.
Well, to be fair, ballista elephants are super, super insane in, like, you know, free-for-all games. Oh, and we got double crossbow coming in. Oh, boy. Nilio boy, even.
What are we seeing? What? Warwolf? Could be good in Trap Wars. At least so I heard.
It's really good, in fact. In case people don't know, it does give your trebuchets 100% accuracy. I don't think it's even listed on the stats card thing, but it means you win every single treb war. Well, you need to make sure you're sieged up, but yeah. Oh, okay. Not bad.
Every single
This is a good
Trap
fight for
War.
Jordan.
Yeah, I like it as well. Ballista Elephant still non-elite, now up to 70 farmers, and JorDan is pushing in here. And those Arbalists, they might struggle quite a bit.
Ballista elephants have 7 pierce armor when fully upgraded, so the same as a paladin. And of course 270 HP with the non-elite version. That gauge looks pretty goofy now that it's completed. But yeah, Viper is kind of getting overrun right now. He's making a switch over into the Halberdiers, but that's only just now coming in. He really needs to fall back to the protection of his castle, but the big issue for Viper there is that he lost those trebuchets, and, well, that means that Jordan's going to keep on pushing.
Are names reversed here or what? What is happening?
Yeah.
JorDan Ballista Elephant pushing the Viper.
Double crossbow, man. I mean, if they can get in close onto those Arbalests, they're going to be doing a decent amount of damage. No siege engineers, that's an upgrade I'd really love to see, as ballista elephants do benefit from that upgrade. And it looks like some of them are going to end up falling, but, well, this is at least uncomfortable for Viper, to say the least.
Traps really exposed. 5 traps here, not a lot of army to protect it.
Reinforcements trying to stream in here for Jordan. It's 80 military to 57 in favor of Viper, but of course Jordan with a more valuable army, but that is going to be a lot of destroyed trebuchets. And the advantage that Jordan got from that win against Viper just, you know, a couple minutes ago, that is pretty much completely gone as he just lost all of that pushing potential.
He already has new traps in the queue. Soon you will already have 2 traps again, and that's a lot of light cap that just died.
Terrible medicine coming in for Viper. Poggers!
Oh, he's just
Finally,
starting this one
the
out.
upgrade that the campaign players like myself are saying actually has use.
Why did JorDan, with this economy and all this investment, not wait for Elite Ballista Elephant? He's doing it only now, after losing like 15 of them.
Yeah, it's a bit suspect for sure. He still has an okay-ish amount of gold, but I mean, ballista elephants, no matter how you cut it, they're expensive units, and not something that you can just afford to just trade off. And now Viper switching over into the Halberdiers. He's looking to be okay. He actually has a decent score lead, mostly from just having better trades. But this is very much a split map scenario.
Viper is so incredibly good, arguably the best player when it comes to late game Age of Empires scenarios. But we feel like JorDan should have the better position in the on the map and the better civilization.
Siege Engineers is coming in for blue. That's not just going to help the range of the ballista elephants, but it is going to help with the trebuchets. You can knock down those castles that much more quickly, which are sort of the main things anchoring Viper in this defensive position. But it's still going to be tricky because those Briton archers there might as well be shooting over from the next game. Just can't even see him coming, man.
Traps disengaging. We're a bit scared. Light Cav now taking the engagement, but they are just so much weaker. No Hussar upgrade, no bloodlines on them.
Yeah, we're looking at a good 35 difference in HP, as well as a slightly slower attack speed. But still, if Viper's able to just free fire on the army of JorDan, then it doesn't really matter how much better his units are, because he's just taking damage and Viper isn't.
I don't like that JorDan doesn't have any skirms anymore. 11 skirms on the field, only 2 here.
I totally agree. I feel like having those skirms are important in pressuring down the Arbalests. I guess he's kind of relying on the Ballista Elephants to do that, but they only have 6 range. So you're so heavily outranged by the Britain Arbs that it's just going to be so hard to ever actually get close. And on the left side, one of those Ballista Elephant factories is under threat.
Some people call it the castle. And those Ballista Elephants now against the Halberdiers doing an okay job. Some Hussars will lose their lives. Trap are getting repaired. Lightcav coming from the side. And it feels like JorDan keeps all the 3 traps for now.
What was that?
Keeps 1. Keeps no traps for now.
Well, to be fair, now is not a determinate amount of time. Now could have just been that 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, JorDan himself going to try and run in and get these trebuchets. Neither player really having a good answer to these trebuchet snipes. No real switch into the ram. We did see cap ram, I think, from Viper a little while ago, but we just don't really have the infrastructure for it.
The other day
I was doing bit of a stalemate.
The other day I was doing a 1v1 cast in German for like a German channel. And it's the first time that I really like cast and try to be like entertaining solo cast stuff. And I think I called 8 out of 8 fights incorrectly who was going to win.
Oh, feels nilly, man.
Yeah. So like if I say traps are surviving, they're dying, I couldn't care less.
You know, it's just about being fun. It's not about being right.
Okay, well
Just about
okay. Well, it wasn't fun either. You know, it was a German cast.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
appreciate
so you don't
that.
need to be fun.
Yeah. I was on time.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're a train, right? Those are never on time.
It's more of a meme, I believe.
It's like that's at least the German meme that I know.
Yeah. They're constantly complaining.
Also, shout out to JorDan getting all of the building HP upgrades. You need those castles alive, so you gotta get masonry, architecture, and hoardings. Even Viper getting all of them as well. Oh man, I love it.
Hussars now around those traps, or no? Just waiting for the elephant and then taking the engagement again. Or is he?
Villagers trying to be there for the trebs. Oh. One treb goes down to make that 2, but that's a lot of Hussars that are being sacrificed in the process.
How many was there? Like 25 Hussars or something?
Yeah, it was pretty rough. And the issue with Ballista Elephants is that they just don't have very high base damage. I mean, you have 9+1 on the main attack, and then you have half that for the secondary projectile. And with Halbs at least having some pierce armor, it takes a little while to kill them unless you have a ton of Ballista Ellies.
Oh, Town is trying to get to that mass, has 19 on the field now, and now goes for Town Watch. Still no idea about the relic at the right-hand side. Thinks it is a 3v2 scenario. Viper thinks it's a 1v4 scenario. Well, it's 3v1 actually.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward, but JorDan will find it when he eventually goes to take that wood line. Oh, now he sees it with the town patrol. The town patrol is in.
Trap at the left-hand side. Can it be saved? Villagers idling next to it. Halberdiers are going down, but the trap with it as well. Castle count. Still 4 for JorDan, 5 for the Viper.
Checking out the resources collected, we have...
Oh no, you don't want to check resources, you want to check the fight in the center.
God dang it. Well, those Ballista Elephants are not going to get a whole lot done in life. 99, 100 army now to 62. The values are pretty similar, but I feel like this is going to be so hard. Look how bad Ballista Elephants are, Nilly. They suck.
Against Halberdiers for sure. And that's what I said, right? Why aren't we going Hussar Skirmisher here?
You know what? I would have loved to have seen from JorDan is Heavy Scorpion.
Okay.
Heavy Scorpion, they actually do shred halberdiers.
Yeah, true. But they die from distance, right? What's their range? Like 8?
9 with Siege Engineers and the Khmer team bonus.
Ah.
So yes, they're outranged, but they're not outranged by that much.
And we also already mentioned siege ramps, simply the typical unit to kill Britons. Not really something we see from JorDan here.
Yeah, of course, rams, we have to remember, getting bonus damage against ballista elephants.
Attack at the
Gotta
right-hand side.
Oh, yeah, again, another trebuchet. Very exposed.
40
Viper
hussars
just
in
gonna dart
this.
out.
Go ahead.
Ooh. Big fight going to be happening here. The Hussars are pouncing onto those Arbalests, and now we see those skirmishers being mixed back into the army here from JorDan. They are good against both Halbs and Darbs, of course. And right now, Viper is going to have to retreat, but he still has just such a massive army number advantage that JorDan is struggling to be everywhere he needs to at the same time.
And actually, it should be the Khmer player having the mobility. But Viper just so good in scenarios like these. Just feels unfair.
There are, I believe, maybe 3 players that can compete with Viper in these sorts of scenarios. Unfortunately, JorDan, I would not say is one of them, at least not quite yet.
Okay.
Hussars are going to be diving in.
Who are the other 2?
I would say Yo Doubt MBL.
Okay. Well, Scorpions are being added now as well. Let's take a look at that and how much damage they're doing. But yeah, just dying from distance.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. You don't really have the heavy Scorpion upgrade, and even then, you're only looking at a couple heavy Scorpions. Viper is now taking a very significant score lead. And yeah, JorDan's just getting ground down. He has 2k gold in the bank and nothing to spend it on. That feels bad, man.
Buys food and wood so often now while Viper is selling. We also saw guilds from the Viper. Not sure if JorDan had it. Okay, Arbalest now losing some meat shield though. Take some time until we get enough halberdiers at the front again.
Come on, Nilly. You should know that Khmer don't have guilds.
They got removed. But it got removed. I think it got removed for because of deathmatch.
Oh yeah.
I'm
no,
pretty
they
sure
lost
they
Treadmill
had
Crane.
guilds.
They definitely had Treadmill Crane and then lost it because of DM. I'm not too sure about guilds.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. But look at the raids in the back.
When you're getting out mobilitied, when you're up against Britons as Khmer, you know you're feeling sad about life.
4 relics won't help too much.
And there's the GG. Well played, Viper. Opposite of game number 1, a very, very slow, grindy, strategically oriented game, but really in the end, Viper just taking such cost-efficient trades, making those better decisions, better unit switches, and he'll take game number 2.
Not what I wanted to see from our Khmer player. Think Ballista Elephants. That's something for a rated game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit sad.
I mean,
this should have been 1-1.
I'm never someone who wants to let players' memes be dreams, but not this time. If he was Indians, then I think Elephant Archers actually would have been fantastic, but obviously different Civ.
Okay. If he was God, Huskars would have been fantastic.
Well, I mean, like, as far as, like, the meme elephant ranged unique units go.
Okay. Well, 2-0 for the Viper, and honestly, this one should give you so much confidence here if you are the Viper. That was a game where you were so on the back foot, you had to hold, and from there on did so many good decisions to take the W, 2-0.
And just took those fights. Viper and Britons both very difficult to finish off, even if you do have that advantage. Just hanging back there, making sure he had the castles to defend himself, able to take good enough fights with those archers. And yeah, exactly, able to get the W. And
plus 200 KD as well here.
Yeah.
And those were basically like Hussars straight off against Halberdier a lot of times. Ay. No Rams. No Hussar side attacks. It is tricky though, obviously against 5 castles that were beautifully positioned. But still, like, I didn't see the, like, I wanted to say I didn't see the creativity, but I saw elephant archers, so, ballista elephants, so we saw creativity. Not the right one.
Yeah. Okay, apparently, as per the change logs, Khmer never had guilds.
Yeah, okay. Then it was only Treadmill Crane that was changed.
Yeah.
The Emmers.
I know. Forcing Slavs, Franks, Khmer, all losing Treadmill
lost
Crane.
guilds then? Why am I so confused?
I do not know.
Shine is in the chat. He can tell us.
Yes, Khmer lost bombard cannons, but that was not a DM exclusive change.
No, that was mainly for arena play, right?
Yeah, Khmer were like insanely strong on arena, and now they're kind of like Chinese, where they just are very sad the second they run into a good siege civ.
yeah, so true. What do I want to do? I wanted to open Discord and see if game number 3 is running, which is it is not.
Wouldn't be surprised if the guys needed a quick moment there after a pretty long and intense game.
Yeah, that was a meat grinder of a game.
It wasn't quite the JorDan versus Hera game number 1. It was like the Battle of the Catalonian Fields, colorized. It was like 1,500 kills.
Yeah, quite some for sure. 493 Hussars went down, by the way, last game.
Sag.
Okay, game number 3 still not started. What are the civs that we are going to see? Will JorDan go for top 2? I don't see him go for Burgundians. Yeah, I think he wants to play something aggressive now.
I think you might go either Indians or Mongols. I agree that you want to go for something that can be a little bit more aggressive. I don't think you want to use your tippy top civs just quite yet.
Why?
But I think you want to get up in Viper's face.
Why not tippy civs?
Well, I guess, the thought process could be, I'm down 0-2, and I only have 2 games potentially left, so I might as well pick the top 2 civs. But if you're going to win this set, you're going to need to get some wins with the lower tier civs at some point.
Yeah.
So maybe try and just use them in getting the best matchups you possibly are able to, and maybe drag out some of the better civ picks from Viper and win with those.
Okay. I don't know. It's a lot of gambling. I think it's a lot of feeling, and I don't think JorDan wants to play another defensive game. I think he wants to get into control, and I think he wants to get into aggression, and something like Mongols and Indians would be really fitting here.
Yeah. I think it's just a good idea. And then as far as Viper goes, I think I might just rock out the Byzantines.
Yeah,
Because Byzantines, they don't care. They don't care who they're up against.
Yeah. Except Sicilians, which she picked.
Except Sicilians, that's true. That's really their only bad matchup, though, I feel.
Byzantines, yeah. But, like, I'm not even sure. I kind of want to know the percentage there. But it feels like Byzantines have, like, 20% against Sicilians.
Well, let me tell you.
Tell me.
So in this tournament, from I believe the round of 32 onwards, Sicilians versus Byzantines. There have been 2 Sicilians versus Byzantines, and Sicilians have won both times. So 100% win rate, but
great
very
sample
small
size. Great sample size. But yeah. So they're really taking their time here.
Yeah.
Maybe eating some. Maybe drinking some. It's also getting close to JorDan's bedtime. No, actually past JorDan's bedtime.
Gotta start playing at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it was. What was it? I think the first week of AoE4. I think we talked strategy to like 4:30 a.m. and Jordan just woke up. Well, like Doubt, Viper, Ted, and I were still in Discord. Yeah,
Some people are just wired that way.
it's crazy, like how early he wakes up. Like as a professional streamer as well, right? It's so weird.
Yeah. It's like the one profession where being a night person is more useful than being a morning person.
Yeah, kind of. Also, sex workers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, basically those two.
It says game number 3 is started.
Poker players probably useful as well. DJs.
Yeah.
Batman, yeah. Night shift doctors. Well, I think there's no one like full night shift doctors, right? At least in Germany, that's not a thing. You have different shifts.
Yeah.
There's no one like only working night shift.
Not unless probably like during the earlier stages of COVID, that might have been the case, at least in the States. But generally speaking, yeah, same.
Where's the difference between streamer and sex worker? It's not big of a difference. You work for money.
You degrade yourself for the enjoyment of others.
You open your mouth a lot.
Yeah.
Pretty similar. Actually, I met a person once at a party, and I told them like, they asked me like, oh, what are you doing for a living? And I said like, yeah, I'm a professional streamer, and they said like, oh, so e-whoring. Yeah, we did not become friends.
Are you sure that wasn't just like a subtle brag that you go to parties? You've been to
parties? It was long time ago. Yeah.
Well, game's gonna start in 11 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
In case you're not in it, Nilly.
Client base is mainly male. Well, depends on the sex worker. Yeah. The truth hurts. Yeah, it really hurts. So Viper going for a civilization that we did not see too often. And yeah, we were right with the assessment that Jordan wants to get some control in this game.
He does indeed. And he's going to need it because he is currently down 0-2, lost a short game and a long game. So that probably is not so great for his confidence. Going to want to, go out and be aggressive. He's going to be the Blue Indians to the west of the map. A civ that has been performing quite well in this tournament. But his opponent, of course, for the very first time since the round of 32, we're going to have Viper as the Bulgarians. The civ that has my favorite theme.
Music wise?
Yeah.
What? Sing it to us.
See?
Anyone Isn't that watching, Ghostbusters?
Yeah, sure.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, man. Well, let's see here. I'm just looking at Viper's map, and it seems pretty good.
Especially if he goes for the far away walls. That could be nice. Feels unlikely,
kind of like what he did in game number 1 and just like walls himself into a corner. I feel like he could be in a really nice spot.
Mm-hmm. Also, then still has a small wood line at the far right-hand side. Pushes a deer. Okay. That's interesting. Found all his goats already?
Yeah, he has all of his goats, so why not? And that's going to be quite nice for him. We do have JorDan now going to be going out on the map with his own scout. And looking at his map, it's not that bad either. But it is going to be a bit more difficult to wall. You really can't go for any like good close walls. You kind of just have to go for the further away walls, I'd say.
Yeah, especially like the bottom feels so far.
Yeah. But I feel like just the investment it would take in going for like a smaller wall at the bottom just isn't remotely worth it.
Yeah, there's none really.
Yeah. So I guess Viper's map is what I would call more preferable. But now thinking to the Civ matchup, obviously this is one we have not seen in this tournament because we haven't seen Bulgarians. What do you think Viper's going to try and accomplish here?
I think lots of aggression, simply. I think if his thought process was JorDan is going to play super aggressive now because he had no control in the first 2 games and wants to play aggressively, Bulgarians just shine before like the 13-minute mark. And even long feudal age play could be something for the Viper. And so it's a really weak Civ in general, but really strong against what he might anticipate JorDan's game plan is. But we actually might see a rush.
Like, it has very awkward situations, simply because you don't have much of an eco bonus and you don't have crossbowmen. But if you can get into those situations where Bulgarians shine, like if you go for the very quick men-at-arm rush and JorDan tries to like go for a scout opening or something like that, it could be really, really difficult for our blue player to deal with that. That said, I feel like camels are going to be great for Indians once we get to mid-game against any sort of night play, and then cav archers are going to be good against everything else. And Indians can go for both of those quite comfortably. So I think that Indians do have the tools they need to win this one.
I like Indians more as well. I'm not even sure how to open though if you're Indians. Do you want to play scouts? We know that JorDan likes to play scouts. But against Bulgarians, I often also really like just defensive archers. Like 1 archer into skirm.
But look at this, Nelly. We have the 2 militia coming in here for Viper, so it's just going to be for, once again, that 2 militia drush opening.
Hashtag mind games. And he really doesn't want to lose those. Because they obviously automatically upgrade into men-at-arms. So JorDan not going into a drush himself is actually nice for Viper, because he will get the map control plus the stronger units then.
Yeah, and of course what's so nice is that even though you just make those 2 militia, you'll then hit feudal age, and then they'll get men-at-arms, and then you can really start to pressure your opponent's buildings. You know, the low HP and now the negative melee armor of houses can be particularly difficult to hang on to when you have Bulgarian men-at-arms just smashing you before you have any sort of unit. But nevertheless, for the short run, JorDan very nicely walling in those fruit bushes with the palisades, and he'll be, I think, totally fine right now.
2 on gold here for the Viper. Could add some more men-at-arms here. Not unlikely, right? I think like 2 and just adding some more. Yeah.
And if Viper's playing like you are suggesting and going quite aggressive, which I totally agree with, yeah, there we go. Another militia queued on up. Just keep on making them, man. You can put your opponent under so much pressure. I think there was like one game with Winchester where he went with like 4 or 5 men-at-arms, and it just completely, you know, caught his opponent off guard and was able to snowball an advantage that way.
4 villagers going forward here for the Viper. Interesting, tries to pressure that front gold. Barracks relatively late. Archer range cannot be afforded instantly either. This will be problematic for JorDan.
He's playing Bulgarians like it's the Voobly days, man. Just before DE came out. Men-at-arm towers. Gotta love it. It's a strat that we don't see all that often anymore.
Do you build a forward archery range if you're the Viper?
I think you go for a forward archery range, yes, but I think you drop a tower first.
Okay.
Because I think something that's going to be important here if you're Viper is making sure that JorDan doesn't get to a large amount of archers.
Okay. Noble tries to build a house there. Also some nice preemptive walls. Ooh. Not the tower that I expected, honestly.
Okay, so what this could be, 4 is okay, he forces the tower to come up from JorDan, and then he deletes the tower and then goes and towers the gold mine. But that doesn't appear to be the case, so... Oh no, sorry, Viper is mining stone at home, so he can just complete the tower, force it up from JorDan, and then go tower the gold mine, and then JorDan's not going to really be able to make any archers, and then the swordsmen are going to be able to do a lot more damage.
But then again, I would have loved to see the archery range already placed down. Maybe even before the tower. Viper does not care about that tower, knows that it will never do something, so people that will complain that the tower is not walled in, that tower actually won't achieve anything, even if it's walled in.
Nope, and it's not worth losing the villager HP to try and wall it in. Nevertheless, archers are coming out here for JorDan. Not going to be able to stop this tower coming up from Viper, but this is obviously such an aggressive play. Is still just now getting double bid axe. Viper establishing some amount of farms at home, so it's not like his eco is a complete disaster. But, you know, it's not great. And now JorDan is forced off of gold, but thankfully for him, he has that secondary gold in the back that he can take pretty much for free for the time being.
Oh, yeah. That's really nice for him, for sure. Viper will get lots of map control, but those archers should be able to defend this. I don't see the Viper doing too much here.
No, the unfortunate thing for Viper is that these 5 men-at-arms are doing as much as, like, 3 men-at-arms would do. And so those are just more resources that you invested that you're not going to get anything out of. And even just these 4 archers right here. Oh, unless you run into the men-at-arms. Okay. JorDan's fine. He'll be able to pick away at those guys. And here's the forward archery range, like you were saying, Nilly, but this does feel a little bit late, as we already have these the preemptive counter stable coming in for JorDan.
Okay, interesting. Ah, something we don't see too often against the forward that people are going for scouts. Maybe to get some counter attacks in there as well. Viper still really open, now builds his own defensive tower.
I think versus Bulgarians it does make sense, though, because you know they're not going to be making a ton of archers if they can help it.
Oh, true.
Just you don't have that crossbow option, so
you know that... Look at where the villagers are! They're a bit exposed there, but just squeezing through and getting back into the tower, if they wanted to.
Yeah. I like how the low HP men-at-arm was healing up there for a bit. But Viper, living up to my favorite AoE2 adage, and that is, if first you don't succeed, tower rush again.
Oh, villagers being pulled, not sure if that's really the best thing ever. Ooh, but only threatening the villager rush.
Yeah, it's just causing a little bit of idle time, but Viper himself has so much idle time because he brought 5 vills forward. And, well, obviously that's just a big chunk of his eco, especially in early feudal age. Fletching is now in here from JorDan, and the men-at-arms are now going to be doing, well, not that much.
Scout for the defense. Beautiful micro.
Well, he lost 1 archer, but still. Mostly beautiful micro.
They're just now trying to fight this one off. Viper's trying to wall. Archers are getting in there. Skirms are falling. Viper, I think he might call this one if he loses all the 5 forward builds.
Yeah. Viper tried to go with the quick win right there, but unfortunately, the aggression did not work out. Simply couldn't deny enough of JorDan's resources. He didn't deny any wood lines. He wasn't really able to deny the forage bushes. Yeah, he pushed JorDan off of gold, but it's not like JorDan didn't have another gold that he could go to. And able to go for the scout plus archer army composition. Nothing that the Viper could do. And JorDan is not going to get swept today.
I would have liked to see the archery range before the tower. If he has 2 skirms, those men-at-arms do so much more.
I think you can even... Well, okay, you probably can't afford a tower and an archery range at the same time, but I would start building the archery range, and as soon as you can afford the tower, start building the tower to force the reaction out of JorDan as quickly as possible. But yeah, getting those skirms out as quickly as possible is a must.
I felt that way at least, yeah. Okay, quick win for JorDan. Has to boost his confidence. Very untypical play here by the Viper, trying to force the issue. Maybe if okay, open berries, open gold, I can make something happen. Apparently not as experienced as I am when it comes to knowing what units to add.
Well, you know, you're the only Gamer Legion player that's completely guaranteed in the finals, Nilly. So obviously they need to be looking up to you.
Okay. Yeah, that was, I think Gamer Legion even advertised like all 6GL members part of Red Bull 5. I was like always like, yeah, technically.
Hey, being technically correct is the best kind of correct.
Probably. Ooh.
Nevertheless, that is the Bulgarians' loss to the Indians. Viper with his last picked Civ getting used up right there. And, okay, they're not jumping at least right into game number 5 just yet. Or, no.
Because it's
Hold
game
on.
number 4, and they're already in it. Speculate down to 1 minute.
If only I had passed first grade counting.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah.
For some, it's counting till 10 is even preschool.
Yeah,
in Germany.
it almost certainly is.
I think. I'm not sure if you're allowed into elementary school in Germany if you can't count till 10 in German. Or at least know some numbers. At least you have to know some colors. It's tricky. Nah, I think you will be allowed into. Especially nowadays. Maybe not 20 years ago.
Well, we are going to be starting game number 4 here, regardless of the player's ability to count or recognize colors.
What Civ do Berbers shine against? I like them against Franks.
I like them against Tatars as well.
Isn't it like even to be allowed into like Japanese kindergartens? Kindergarten. You kind of need to count like to 10 in 2 different languages or something.
Yeah, so Japanese, I'm pretty sure this is the case in Japanese, but it's the case in Korean 100% that
okay.
they are silly and they have 2 different number systems. They have a native one and a Chinese-based one, and they use them, they're completely different, and they use them for different things, which is really, really confusing.
Okay. Okay, no,
Yeah.
I actually meant like in another language that's not your native language as well. So they have to do it in
okay.
like Japanese and in English, for example, count to 10.
Oh, wow, yeah, I don't know one way or the other on that, but that's going to be tricky regardless. Anyway, we are here. Game number 4. JorDan able to take the last one in a quick, nice defense, and he is going to go for the Boomer Civ as he's the Blue Burgundians to the northeast against Viper in the yellow as the Byzantines this time to the southwest.
Not the greatest wall possibilities for him. Maybe some to the left-hand side, maybe some including his town center. Second wood line, not too pretty either.
It's a bit of an awkward map for sure. That said, I would say that Byzantines are very likely to be the more aggressive civ on this, in this matchup. So it might not matter as much as like JorDan's map for him, but he's got a back wood line. Gold is a little forward, but it's at least semi-wallable, which I like. It's kind of open on the right side, but you can just, wall to the TC and then wall on the left side.
I'm curious to see how Burgundians wants to play this against Byzantines. Do you go 1 archer range skirm defense here?
I almost think you can play it kind of like the super greedy style that Viper did against Valessa in the round of 8 when he just went for the super quick eco upgrades, got a bowsaw and heavy plow as soon as he hit feudal age, just relied on 1 barracks to defend. And I don't think Byzantines are going to be doing anything that's like, unless they also go for like men-at-arms and towers, but I mean, especially after that didn't work in the last game and it's not really Viper's style, I don't really see Viper going for that.
But I heard if it doesn't work first time, tower rush again.
Oh, that's true. And that's of course what I very firmly believe. But unfortunately, for some reason, Viper, the noob that he is, doesn't share that view. But I actually would like a men-at-arm tower rush in this situation.
Yeah, so do I. Scout dance. Nice one.
And Viper just going to be luring in a couple of ostrich. Nothing too wild. As far as like the dynamics of this matchup, it's kind of like, you know, the super eco civ versus the super efficient military civ. So I feel like Byzantines are just going to need to rely on always either having the initiative in terms of pushing, or just always having as many, well, most likely going to be pikemen or camels that you're going to need against the cavalry that JorDan's going to be throwing at you, and that is a big old wall.
Yeah. Well, something we have not seen that much recently. And that villager actually will benefit from the slow building time of the palisades.
Yeah.
Because Floom will finish before he faces the lion.
The secret buff saves villagers.
Nah, but maybe together with the scouts, that could become a bit on the ugly side. Oh, lion comes in!
Run away, little villager, run away!
He has a friend.
Oh, that lion will get wrecked. And Viper just kind of gonna see what's up in the base of JorDan. JorDan does have a double bit axe and has had it for quite a while. Notably did grab Loom, you know, a little bit earlier than typical, just because he was walling so far away. So that definitely played to his advantage right there. And he'll just be clicking up on 21 pop, whereas Viper is going on 22. A population that would be totally normal like a year and a half ago, but now feels slow.
22? What is he booming? Is he playing Fast Castle here or what? Viper was a guy who always did an extra pop over what other people did when it came to archer defense. Like,
Yeah.
we have seen him do so many pop 23 archer plays. And now it's 22 men-at-arm archer. Although, he just cancelled his militia.
I'm not too sure what the men-at-arm opening is going to give you here if you don't have a tower or forward follow-up to it. I mean, because Byzantines, of course, something we didn't mention is you go for the Chinese classic, as I call it, forward barracks, forward archery range, skirmisher, spearmen, towers. But that's probably too similar to last game, and Viper doesn't want to do that again.
Chinese classic. The good old days.
I know. Especially when you live in a time zone that, when you play in the evening in the US, you play a lot of Chinese players in Voobly.
Ah, yeah.
I face that a lot. Like, a lot.
Okay. Well, I certainly would think I played like 200 games in my life against Stray Dog.
Yeah, so you know what's up. Got Horse Collar, Bit Axe coming in for Viper right away, so it is much more the economical approach. We already have Heavy Plow in for JorDan. Oh, it feels good getting Heavy Plow before seeding a single farm.
Yeah, feels nice indeed. JorDan investing a lot into walls though. And Viper with the Spearman. Oh, mistimed there. JorDan gets away. How's this one going to play out? Give me an over-under and chat prediction. When will we see the first unit die in this game?
I am going to say maybe the 19-minute mark.
Okay.
Watch the scout just run into the spearman instantly.
I would go later. I would say 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
Alrighty. Well, we shall see. That spearman, he's got his work cut out for him. Okay, gives up.
Yeah, I wouldn't really
now
know
coming in from
why a
JorDan.
unit should die before Castle Age.
Not unless it's JorDan Scout accidentally running into the Spearman of Viper.
Oh, maybe into
Blacksmith.
the archers. Uh-oh. JorDan, don't make me sad. Oh, no. Oh. JorDan, open your palisade walls. Get the scout in. Okay, let's say second unit that dies.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Change the rules on me, are you? Feels bad, man.
I don't know why a unit should die before Castle Age, she said.
To be fair, I was way off in my prediction as well. Got the range now coming in here from JorDan. Just needs to make a few skirms to defend, and having both Castle Age eco upgrades already, he is in a very nice spot. Viper's actually collected more resources by a small margin, but JorDan likely going to be getting ahead in the not-too-distant future. And I guess the question becomes, okay, JorDan, even once he gets to Castle Age, is probably going to take a more defensive approach. What is Viper going to do? He's not really the sort of guy to go, okay, get up to Castle Age and then immediately come forward with a siege workshop in a monastery and start smashing him in the face. But I feel like that's kind of what you want to be doing in this instance with Byzantines.
I think fast imp. I think that might be a reason why he commits that heavily already here on all the feudal age. Because that delays his Castle Age timing and makes his imp easier.
Yeah, that's true. Able to grab the wheelbarrow upgrade since, as you were saying back in the first game, if you're going for the extended feudal age play, that's when getting wheelbarrow makes the most sense because you're going to be slower up to Castle Age anyway. You're going to have more farms going, and makes lots of sense. There's the market.
John will have the better economy in the long run. Market already? Oh, that's not really indicating fast imp then.
It could be for the quick Castle Age into, you know, forward siege, monastery.
Okay.
Could add in a stable, go for some knights and camels.
Will that really make you happy against Burgundians, though? Castle Age timing will be reasonable. JorDan actually not that fast. A bit surprised. Market by him as well.
Well, I mean,
now.
yeah, that's the thing. He's invested a lot of resources into defending the walls, the secondary walls, the skirmishers, fletching upgrade, all of the eco upgrades. Like, that is going to delay your Castle Age time by a pretty big margin. So I think Viper can get some damage done if he goes forward.
Let's take a look. Villager obviously being saved. I still say 1930 for the second unit. That's dying.
Second unit? I'd say that's a pretty fair guess. You know, it's 30 seconds or so after Viper hits Castle Age. Oh no! Oh no!
Why are those players so bad? Don't understand.
You gave them the benefit of the grass doubt, and it just didn't pay off for you. And hey, oh, Viper, validate me. He was gonna build a stable, but then canceled it for a house.
Okay, so probably forward siege workshop, forward monastery to follow this one up, I believe, as well. I think I would have liked 2 forward villagers, actually.
I always get scared with the one forward villager. I have seen too many games where the one forward villager gets sniped, and then it just all of the aggression just falls flat on its face, and they become far behind.
Yeah.
And JorDan, a minute and a half away from the Castle Age, but Viper going to be hitting there in just a moment with plenty of resources.
Look
but
at that.
No stable just yet.
He could play fast imp with those res.
That's true.
Just use the market.
Let's see. Well, okay, getting crossbowman.
Yeah, he's not doing it, obviously, but I think it would have been an option. Why did JorDan decide to lose all of his skirms here?
Maybe he thought that he didn't want to go for many skirmishers in the long run and just wanted to trade them against Viper when he still didn't have his Castle Age upgrades in?
But he's producing more skirms.
Okay, well, there goes that idea. Yeah, well, like I was saying, Siege Workshop, Monastery forward. I think this is a really good play against Burgundians. You just don't... The last thing you want to do is just let Burgundians sit back and boom to their heart's content, because then they'll just kill you with the 10,000 units.
Yeah, so true. Elite Skirm coming in, Botkin coming in, defensive Siege Workshop. Defense exactly what the Viper is throwing in his face. Viper's trying to catch up with eco upgrades. I don't like too much that we're not having wheelbarrow, but JorDan is trying to catch up with that.
Mangonel's coming in for both players. Going to be out for Viper first. Interestingly, Viper's going with the second TC. I wonder if this is going to be kind of like the Winchester style that we were seeing, where he goes for like the 2 TCs and then the Imperial Age. Especially with Byzantines getting that big discount on the Imperial Age. Going to be, I think, able to hit a really strong timing for Viper.
Okay, Mangonel out now. Wow!
What?
But we still see the kill.
Yeah.
Viper. Now look at those units. Not a lot of HP. Look
But
again
you got
in
the
30
Byzantine
seconds.
buff. Their team bonus monks heal 100% faster, not 50% faster.
But Monk just wants to chill.
Come on, get to work, lazy monk.
And they can go back to the front. But that felt so wrong there, that the Mangonel got the kill against JorDan.
Yeah. JorDan trying to heal up his units. Burgundians do importantly have Redemption and Sanctity, so they can go for this sort of like Castle Age monk play, although Byzantines are going to have the far better monks in the long run. A forward archery range from Viper, interestingly. Going with that sort of ranged unit combo, but JorDan just now making a second town center. I mean, realistically, he's gathered almost actually, they have gathered the exact same amount of resources for a second there.
Okay. Oh.
So Viper's dictating the pace of the game 100% right now. And is
Yeah.
able to keep up in terms of economy and to get himself ahead in army.
And that the upgrades are even. It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Feels so wrong. But now 2 Mangonels against 1 Mangonel. JorDan not queuing up another one. Doesn't make me too happy. And what also doesn't make me too happy, the placement of that second TC. Not that I
Well,
would
where else could he place it?
yeah, not that I could provide him with a better spot. Yeah.
Made the best out of a bad situation, but never feels good. Viper is mining stone with 3 villagers, so this indicates that he wants to just continue with this Castle Age pressure, drop a 3rd TC, get into an even better spot economically. And doesn't matter if you're not Celts, Mangoes will still eventually eat town centers.
And still 1 for 1. I thought JorDan did pretty well there.
I think that was because the Mangonel died, and it got, the 100% area of effect damage.
Yeah.
Like, if the Mangonel was alive when the rocks hit, I think it would have, only done most of the HP and not all of it.
Yeah, I think so as well. Okay, someone else. Is the Viper on a hill there? It looks weird, but no, he is not, right? Is that an elevation? It is.
I think so.
I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a hill.
Oh, that was close. 3 HP on the Mango. And yeah, there's a delete trick coming in. Also, look how sad these skirms are. They just can't kill the monk. Just get healed too quickly.
But nice counterattack by JorDan now. Sadly not having ballistics. Won't really find the kills. Was trying to manage the Mangonel micro at the same time.
And Viper's still applying pressure, but this group of skirmishers in the back of Viper's base is pretty annoying. He's now with 1 stable, getting a knight, getting scale barding armor, so yeah, he'll clean them up eventually. Well, actually, those are +2/+2 skirms. He might need another stable, and that's exactly what he's building right now.
Okay. Well, I still think like 3 knights should easily deal with that. And Viper still has the hill there, but the villager is really aggressive, but should get healed up. Even 2nd armor upgrade. I don't think that's needed against those skirms, though.
I don't think it's needed against the skirms, but you have to imagine that the Burgundian player is going to go for cavalry eventually, so I think Byzantine camels could be an option against that, and, it could just be for the more long-term oriented play. Personally, I do agree that I think you would just rather get to Imperial Age faster.
Okay, Mangonel's now moving out. I think JorDan tries to make a double attack move here. Those villagers, low HP, but won't really matter.
The power of Byzantines!
And now exactly 3 knights are coming over. Should deal with those skirmishes. Villager survives here as well. And skirms completely cleared up. The Viper in full control.
JorDan doesn't have access to stone, I believe. No. So he can't even go for the castle drop into Coustier. That's pretty rough, because a castle would be one of the better ways you could potentially defend against this aggression from Viper, but right now, the issue for JorDan is that Viper's army is simply way cheaper, and he's already in a good position. That's a 1-for-0 Mangonel trade. That is not at all what JorDan wanted.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. There's one small hill that's basically invisible. It's so tough to see. Huh, I think we need to play with different graphics mods, actually, to see that hill. So weird.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, there's another one for O.
Oh no. Now knights are moving in. Already having the +2 armor. Might just die for the mangonels. One knight to the side. Oh, this looks so good for the Viper.
Beautiful pull right there. Drawing the fire with the knight in the south, and then can just run in through the center with those knights sniping both mangonels. Viper's on the way to Imperial Age, and he is looking to take himself to match point right now.
Looks really good indeed. I think I would have liked to see a third TC at the left-hand side, just to be a bit more safe against potential counterattacks. But might not matter too much. Skirms going aggressively against the mangonel here. What's happening? Ooh, those were in for a trip.
Gotta be brave, be bold. Get wrecked by mangonels.
How bold do you want to be?
I want to be bold like I am hitting Control B.
What does
Or
Control
not.
B do?
It makes in like a word. It makes your font bold.
In what word?
Microsoft Word. Works in Google Docs as well.
Okay.
Those are the first 2 villager kills, by the way.
Oh, interesting, yeah. Sick. The counterattack of JorDan didn't find a single villager kill? That feels so
Nope.
wrong.
And none of Viper's aggression actually killed a villager.
Ah! JorDan!
JorDan laughing. Don't give him the satisfaction.
I had to check if your name was Doubt. Oh. Oh, man.
Oh.
The Doubt delete trick. Oh, deleting before actually shooting. Oh boy, oh boy. Now mass camels. Cavalier will come in, and I think now this is the time where JorDan probably wants to jump before heavy camel comes in. He still has a solid 100 seconds.
Heavy Camel does feel like it takes around 20 years to research. But even so, you've got a bunch of camels out. Yes, the Burgundians, they are going Cavalier. It is indeed that simple.
Is it that
but
simple?
I just don't think it's enough. Oh, it's clearly that simple.
3
I mean, you
Morgarinos
can
around?
make camels.
Okay. I never knew that it was that simple.
At least that's what I've been told.
Heard fairy
With the
tales.
3 monks.
And John takes this fight. Could be the last one of this game. Crosswood behind. GG. Well played. Viper will take a pretty convincing 3-1 lead.
Yeah, 10% more efficient in economy throughout the game is just a massive difference.
Huh.
Yeah, Burgundians falling behind an eco to Byzantines is pretty rough.
How did that happen though? Viper obviously no investment into any big walls, just the archer range. It felt so clean, so easy for the Viper.
Well, he was up to Castle Age first, able to produce just those very cheap units and start taking some good trades. He had the forward buildings, was simply just able to more efficiently produce an army that didn't cost as much, and, well, he got cheap imp with Byzantines.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
And my
Micro.
fears for JorDan at the beginning of the set, I feel like are at least at this point coming true, where JorDan is really, really solid and a great player, but like once he's really facing somebody who's at the top of their game, I feel like he's just not quite at that level yet.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll see in case he loses how he would perform against Dewey. Could be an interesting
That would be an
one.
interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that will be tomorrow morning, guys, for the third place match.
But obviously
Essentially, it's just a show match to, get people into the stream before the finals.
a $1,000 show match.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if it's Leary against either Viper or Jordan in the $1,000 show match, I consider that interesting and worth watching.
As an appetizer, basically.
Exactly.
So, game ID is out. Game number 5 is running. Sicilians against Vikings.
Got the Vikings, and then the Vikings that just ended up in northern France.
But? Ah, yeah.
Yeah. The Sicilians are essentially the Normans, and the Normans are Vikings that settled in northern France.
Vikings settled in northern France?
Yep. With
I thought Vikings were
was it?
like Scandinavia.
Yeah. They raided all over during the Viking years, and the King of France at the time was like, you know what? These Vikings are really annoying. So what if we just pay some Vikings, give them some land, and welcome them into the world of Christianity so that they defend us from the other Vikings. And that's kind of what happened. Yeah, Rolf the Gaunger, that's it.
So they paid Vikings to fight other Vikings?
Pretty much. History lessons with Ornlu.
Okay. Let's maybe focus on Age of Empires 2. That's giving me headaches. Like how? Why?
Well, we are indeed here in game number 4, regardless of the origins of these civilizations, or 5, game 5. I know how to count, I promise. But Viper's going to be the yellow Sicilians to the north of the map, and very close as the vulture flies will be JorDan in the blue as the Vikings. And I gotta say, Viper with Sicilians has had a ton of success in KOTD 4 so far.
JorDan going for a very early lame here. Let's see. He has to go for the elephant. He has to make something happen. Is he? He has to go for it. Okay.
And the chase is on! That poor elephant. He's just like, why did you just smack me with your sword? That's so mean. I'm gonna go get you. And the scout's just teasing it, running away, and then just eventually the elephant's gonna run into the town center and die horribly.
Did he not see? Oh, he barely missed the sheep. What?
Yeah.
The shadow should have been cast on there.
Is that how that works?
No.
Does
No,
the graphic setting matter?
No. It doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even if you have a longer shadow, it only casts if you see the building.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, for example, in Counter-Strike, that's not the case. You can see some people while they can't see you because you have the shadow advantage.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, something we don't have
The
in Age of
relative
Empires.
position of the sun matters then when designing
Yeah.
maps.
And it changes on maps. It's actually nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyway, Viper is simply going to be down an elephant, and that is really rough no matter what civ you are, and I don't... Oh, wait, hold on. JorDan hasn't taken any of his other elephants.
I think Viper wants to go for a counter lane. Not too sure about that. I think JorDan could stop that.
I feel like with JorDan being well aware of this and his scout being in position, I feel like it would be difficult to make happen, but on the other hand...
Distance is short.
The distance is short, and do you really want to give your opponent 3 elephants to your 1 elephant? Like, that just seems like a horrible prospect.
Doesn't it feel like distance to even pull a villager? To do loom and try to get one?
I think if you're Berbers, yes. If you're Goths, yes. If you're Sicilians, probably not.
What if you're Mayans?
Sure, why not? Chinese, probably need the villager at home.
Oh, that's the worst timing now. Or is it?
Or the best timing.
37
Depends
HP.
who you are.
JorDan tries to go for the block. Block the elephant or block the scout?
I think you have to block the elephant. I think if you try and block the scout's just gonna wiggle its way around.
indecisiveness there by JorDan. And it will be 1v1. And Viper more HP. Oof!
In case people didn't know, Sicilian scouts do take less bonus damage from elephants, and all boar equivalents
Oh, really?
only take 1.5 damage.
Oh. 28 HP against 27. Wait, what?
Yep, normally boars get +3 damage versus scouts. You know, they have 7 base attack, and then they deal 10 damage.
So they did what, 8.5 now, or what?
Yes, exactly.
8.5 times 2. 17. 45 minus 17.
Carry the 3.
Hey.
Oh, man. Well, Viper is going to be up on his way to Feudal Age. JorDan, not quite yet. I wonder what he's up to. He's making a barracks.
I think he should be floating quite some food. No, only 4 extra. Interesting. Well, will be man-at-arm played by JorDan. Viper, most likely as well here. Although I don't see any villagers on gold. He can't just simply play skirms here, can he? That's greedy.
Does he even try going scouts? I mean, I know Sicilians like going scouts, but it feels fairly suicidal when the rush distances are so close. I really like JorDan's decision to go for the barracks. It's almost like a forward barracks, but it protects his gold, and it also gives you, that much less of a rush distance. So I like that decision.
Yeah, so do I.
Militia just smacks that scout. Oh, and the other militia smacks that scout.
Okay. All of a sudden, it's JorDan with the HP lead in the scout war. Viper has to wall in his wood line. Where do you even build this archery range? Oh, now 3 on gold.
Okay. Bidax cancels because he needs the wood for the archery range. Oh, that's a little awkward.
He will get it afterwards.
Yeah. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, but still does need to build these buildings for the quick walls. Now even a 4th villager going over to gold. I guess because he went over to gold a little bit later, he would need to send one more villager over.
And now we kind of have to see skirm v skirm war, no?
Most likely. And now, I guess we didn't talk about the matchup much. We have this, again, I feel like we keep on getting this dynamic where Vikings have the better economy, but Sicilians have the better army. So for JorDan, it's about using his good eco to sort of leverage timing advantages with getting to the Castle Age and Imperial Age faster, and then obviously just taking good fights and overwhelming his opponent with more numbers and better upgrades. Whereas Viper's just going to chill and try and go late game.
I'm not sure, honestly, with this short distance. I personally wouldn't mind, and it sounds great, Onlu, don't overreact, triple archer range by the Viper. Just full archer skirm. What is Vikings going to do against this?
Go for their own archer skirm?
Well, you always win with Sicilians.
Yeah, that's true. But Sicilians aren't going to be having quite as good of an eco as Vikings.
Yeah, but like if you completely ruffle stomp their army.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a fair idea. I mean, obviously, neither player has to go for any one strategy. There are several different ways these guys can choose to play this one out, and neither are going to be like right or wrong. But I think that is a legitimate option, I guess.
Oh, Jordy boy, already with scouts around as well. He won game number 3 with playing archer plus scout. Wants to do the same here again.
Indeed, and that's going to work out pretty well for him, at least in the short run. My concern would be the delay of Castle Age, but maybe Viking Eco can help him out, and it's, Viper doesn't really have many villagers on food anyway. Notably, though, he was able to grab Horse Collar as Sicilians before adding in any farms whatsoever, so he's just got food for days.
Ah, nice for him. Focusing down on the archers even. Not sure, but his own archers are lacking behind here for JorDan. Now the blacksmith a bit on the late side. Obviously delayed because of the scouts. Archers are dying here, but couldn't really dwindle down the skirm numbers yet.
Nope. And I mean, I do like this approach from JorDan in the sense that you're not making any counter units against Sicilians, right? They can't make use of their reduced bonus damage if none of your units are dealing any bonus damage to begin with. But it's an expensive army composition, and they require completely different upgrades. So this could allow Viper to just get a more efficient army and just get to that faster castle age time. That said, Viper is completely at the limit in terms of resources, and so is JorDan.
I would really like to see a second archer range by the Viper. Isn't one like way too greedy here? Does he think he can defend this?
Yeah. He had 3 archers queued up at once. Probably, okay, yeah, he has enough wood for another one right now, so...
Okay, dropping it down.
Yeah, there we go.
Only makes sense, yeah.
Unfortunately, Vikings, of course, having some of the very worst cavalry in the game, no bloodlines for them, so that's going to hurt them in sort of the long-term feudal age scout wars. But still, scouts with +1 defense can be very scary, and if you're caught off guard, they can completely swamp your units.
6 archers around now. Maybe defensive tower could have been needed, and Viper simply not getting enough army out.
No, he's down 4 military units, but there's a reason that Archer plus Scout is just the best feudal age army composition in most situations. Archers just snipe the spearmen very comfortably, and then the Scouts are going to be doing a ton of damage at close range, but Town Center helps out, and Viper didn't lose a single villager in all of that.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy safe. Lost a lot of momentum, obviously. Lost his spearman. Now goes for armor for his spearman. Quite an interesting choice. Has one on the field right now.
I wonder if you could justify going for sergeants.
Are they good? If archers are already on the field?
I mean, in Castle Age, they have 3/3 armor.
Yeah, in Castle Age, but we need to survive till then. Viper sits on 7 gold. Oh, now goes to the right-hand side.
I don't think he goes sergeants in feudal age. He's building the donjon, the DJ, with dropping those sick beats, the gold mine.
Viper not on the hill here. Micro's back, and I still think like Archer Skirm should be so good here with the defense. Oh, and JorDan has his pushback.
Yeah, loses a couple archers there. Not super ideal, but like I was saying earlier, if anything, out of this, JorDan is going to be getting a faster castle age time, at least by a little bit, probably.
Okay, well, let's see about that one. Archers more in production. Farm eco looks really solid for JorDan as well. No farm upgrade for him, though.
Nope. I'm afraid JorDan isn't just horsing around with his collars. Only horsing around with his horses on the scouts.
My chat is going still completely bananas about the Vikings, where they're coming from and who is who discussion. Holy moly.
My sincere apologies.
Like, suddenly it's like every single time we talk about Corona, I have like 1,000 virologists in my chat. Once we talk about history, there we have like 500 historians in the chat.
Oh yeah, that happens every time. But yeah, JorDan is closer to Castle Age, or at least clicks up a little bit faster, but really it's only 10 seconds faster, so it's not the biggest of deals. 2 villagers on stone for the Viper. Sicilians starting with an extra 100 stone, quite nice for them. And it looks like Viper, again, he's just going to be going with that more passive defensive approach.
Yeah, I don't mind this. Just upgrade your army. And Vikings, they're not too great then in Castle Age, right? You kind of have to count on Mangalo shots, and Viper has really shown how on point he is when it comes to Mangalo micro.
I want to see one of these guys go for like some kind of infantry play. I want to see Vikings go for swordsmen or Sicilians going for sergeants. I actually think that it could work out.
No.
Like the rush distance for like JorDan, is close. You can go like mangonels plus some swordsmen. They get 20% extra HP.
Just no.
No. Oh.
Well, yes, but no. And more no
Millie
than yes.
shooting down Ornlu's dreams once again. Well, for the time being, it is just going to be with the more archer-centric approach for JorDan, just with a mix of archers and skirms. Actually, both players with a mix of archers and skirms. JorDan more focused on the skirm side, Viper more on the archer side. And it's likely the case when we just see some siege workshops added, maybe some town centers, and just kind of stick with this range play for the mid-game.
Siege workshop from the Viper, flying in now. Just goes for the standard upgrades, nothing too fancy. John instantly sees the siege workshop, good for him.
Nice scout movement from JorDan. Going with both crossbow and elite skirmisher is both players. Now JorDan with his own siege workshop. And even getting the university for ballistics, Viper instead opting for that second town center. Getting built twice as fast with Sicilians does usually save you around 2 villagers worth of TC work time. And it's just a nice little bonus here in mid-game. But it does mean that JorDan could have the edge in these fights.
Let's see about that. How important is ballistics going to be? Mangonels will be the main damage dealers, and Viper probably going to sit back a bit. Although, why would he expect to see JorDan only play 1 TC?
I feel like... I don't know. Just going for... sitting back with more TCs and taking it to a more late game oriented route, and at least like late castle age, Sicilians can likely defend themselves with their own castle that builds super quick.
Mm-hmm.
I think JorDan taking the more aggressive approach, especially considering the player matchup as well. I think it's a decent bet from Viper, and like I was saying, I think he just wants to chill and sit back in this situation.
Okay. Also knows, obviously, if we get to the late game, Sicilians are just so much better. No university, kind of no man's land. Not sure why he's building the university there. He saw the army earlier.
It's important for the students to be a nice distance away from the hustle and bustle of city life. You know, nice university in the countryside.
Okay. Aren't they getting, like, distracted from studying?
Nah, man, it's you gotta get the agrarian research. With all the farms that are gonna be built there eventually. One day.
Okay. Scout gets a good look. Skirm, crossbow. Getting deep into the economy. Still not a villager kill. 0-0 eco KD.
Yep, wheelbarrow to handcart, of course, getting that for free as Vikings. Still neither player with the Bosa upgrade. Couple Mangonels going to be rocking away at the siege workshop of Viper.
John finally adding a TC himself, but that attack didn't achieve a lot. And now getting chased away by Skirm Mangonel, most likely. John also adding TC number 3 at the right-hand side. That's a lot of like movement without real fighting here.
Yeah, this has just been kind of weird because JorDan kind of committed to an attack, but didn't kill anything and also didn't really lose his army. Just kind of left.
He threatened a bit. Viper now TC number 3. Small advantage villager-wise, but obviously handcart behind. Now takes the fire uphill here. What's the Viper doing?
Not wanting to take that fight, that's for sure, but actually still kills 2 units to only losing 1. Actually, that might even be 3. And look at this. Both players are getting up and towards that Imperial Age.
Interesting. Quite a lot of movement here still. Are we going dungeons here for the Viper? He's sending some villagers forward, or is that TC number 4?
Oh, yeah, there they are. TC number 4.
Okay.
I do think that a donjon push, if you're going the whole archer route with Sicilians, going for the donjon push could be really strong.
Oh,
like, if you go into Imperial Age, start making some arbs, like, those things can be firing 10+ arrows.
Okay, crazy. Now, finally an engagement here. Mangonel is getting reasonable shots off. Micro's back. No more Mangonels joining the party. Okay, one from the right-hand side now.
Oh, the 2-pronged attack. Nevertheless, Jordan's he's still eventually going to lose everything. Just going to get whittled down.
It's 2 minutes before reaching Imp. Didn't really work that well. Remember that epic scene in game number 7 against Tedo, where he hit his army so nicely from Tedo, who was trying to find him. With all the skirms and mangonels there. Jordan this time will lose most of his army shortly before he reaches Imp.
And that's usually the exact opposite of what you want to have happen. Because getting to Imperial Age, usually it's not for any sort of core fighting unit unless you're going for like gunpowder or something. So yeah, you're just trying to get the upgrades on your existing army, but if your army doesn't exist in the first place, that isn't terribly useful. And still just going with more crossbows.
That's not pretty for Jordan. Maybe could have done something there with a bit more mangonels, trying to guide him home, but felt like, okay, having those on the map isn't the prettiest thing either. Viper, 4TC play, now with the market, monastery, thinks about imping this one as well. But obviously we'll be behind a solid 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's likely going to be around one Imperial Age research time's worth of difference, if not even a little bit more. So Jordan does have a window here. The brush distance is still very close. He at least has some mangonels, and he's getting some more army together. But he's going to need to get some damage done fairly soon.
Skirm's crossbow still on the field. Scout will go down here at the top. And, oh, Jordan sees it. Instant reaction. Nice save. Interesting that Viper's trying to attack from the right-hand side there. That makes me feel like we could see, like, 6 stables now being dropped somewhere. This is Hallberg play, right? If he moves out with his army like this... This is Cavaliers.
Probably.
Give me 6
especially
stables.
in Vikings versus Sicilians, you know, Vikings have no mobility options, so Sicilian Cavaliers are going to be doing really well, but no, more ranges.
Interesting. Well, then it's simply a misplay, no?
Okay, well, he's going back.
Okay. Oh, some losses. Let's see. Oh, he was squeezed home. Fortunate overchop for him.
Yeah. Garrison the donjon, man. Crossbows add so many extra arrows.
I could have deleted the palisades there at the front.
At least the villagers can jump in.
Just turning their mangonel a bit.
Ooh, you know what, Nilly? It's time to hit the button, the secondary button.
But...
The click to get 35 units button.
Okay. Well, we have 5 CCs now. Defensive castles coming in. Jordan thinking about pushing more into that direction. 6 villagers could go down. Ooh, Viper. Ooh, dodges that shot still.
Important dodge right there. Jordan trying to dance back and forth, and he is doing a nice job of preserving these mangonels. Will take down the donjon eventually, but with the power of the Sicilian faster build time on the castles, Viper is going to be totally fine. I guess Capped Ram coming in, but you're already losing a couple rams that way. And Viper can't afford First Crusade right now.
Oh, he doesn't need to, right? All the pressure stopped, double castle defense, quite easy for him. Oh, but Jordan now with the castle at the right-hand side, but should be behind in trap production if that's in the line of sight of the Viper. And it is.
And it is. Town Watch saves lives, kids.
Well, first trap in production, gets Bracer, gets chemistry, and should take a really good fight at the bottom against those looping around skirms.
Ooh, and a forward castle coming in as well, but Jordan will see the villagers coming forward. So you should at least know something's going on.
Mangonel here. Oh, bit annoying against the villagers, but will get saved as well. All the army cleared up. Viper is solid. Close to 30 population lead now.
Uh-oh. Is it going to be a castle war? Oh, you bet it is.
Oh, do you want to go into a castle war against Sicilians?
It's like never bring a knife to a gunfight, man.
Oh, never bring a castle to a castle fight against Sicilians. Crossbow dealing with those villagers. Skirm fighting with skirms. Both castles could go up, but only after heavy losses for Jordan.
JorDan laughing right now. Castle is going to go up, but as you're saying, only after significant villager losses. So that's a bit of an unfortunate instance. 88 bills to 126. Viper simply looking like the better player in the series, now getting plate mail armor. I mean, as soon as he wants to hit the button, he can hit the button. And he'll get an army that JorDan can't deal with.
Oh, that castle might be a bit too close, actually. Okay, no. And more villagers will die. Trap gets away as well. And, yeah. That could be...
Viper did make a mistake, though, on the right side. He had a trebuchet before JorDan, but just didn't siege it up. So now JorDan's actually the one with the advantage.
Yeah, yeah. Nice one for JorDan there. Will still be a tricky situation. And, well... First Crusade is coming in, but we still don't have Elite Surge, and I think with 40 farmers, I would have liked to see that.
It is a pretty expensive upgrade. I believe it's 1,000 food, 800 gold or something like that.
Okay.
And I'm sure Viper will get it eventually, but honestly, there's like nothing for JorDan anyway. Like, neither player has like any army, but now Viper is going to just get 35 units magically.
Bop. 9 to 44, and can just spam from everywhere. Already the upgrades, as you said, and this is going to be a rough one for JorDan to deal with. 80 population difference.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. We do have some Berserks coming in for JorDan. In terms of how do Berserks and Sergeants trade with, relatively even upgrades, I have no idea. But right now, Elite Sergeant's coming in, so that is going to be an enormous advantage for Viper.
Oh, man. Yeah, and the military that he simply puts on the field now, he is basically pop limit, deals with the traps at the right-hand side, sergeants through the center, and JorDan will have to play the early match tomorrow, most likely, because Viper is just looking so strong. 70 population lead here, traps are pushing in, he's going into the finals.
Almost certainly, and yeah, just... in most aspects, the stronger player in this series. The one loss was just kind of a very aggressive all-in rush that didn't work out. And really, at no point did JorDan look like he was in a much better spot than Viper. And there we go. GG. Really well played, bro. Take it home. Obviously, these guys are good friends. And JorDan super nice. Wishing Viper the best of luck.
And that's something he might need, because Winchester looked mighty strong today against Leary, winning 4-1 in that one. It's going to be a great final tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's I've been calling Vinch the Reaper. First he went for Hera, then he went for Yo, and then he went for Leary, and now Viper's the last of the the top players that's on the chopping block. But I mean, it's going to be a tall order because Viper conversely has been looking really strong.
Interesting stuff. The Viper, another final. 2 KOTD titles already under his belt. KOTD 3, not too good for him. But KOTD 4, now with the real big chance. And for me, he is a massive favorite against Vinch tomorrow.
I agree. But also, Vinch just took out Leary 4-1. So...
and Yo before that, and Hera before that.
And then Yo before that, and then Hera before...
Okay, yeah.
It's the Reaper, man.
Maybe after Leary wins KOTD, I stop underestimating him. After Winchester wins KOTD.
Yeah, one day. Well, we shall have to see. But yeah, it was really fun nilly casting with you. Hope you enjoyed it.
Likewise. Yeah, it was very sweet, Onlu. And see ya, my man.
See ya, man. GG's.
The series interesting, so
GG. So tomorrow we will have JorDan against Leary as an appetizer. I think it is I don't even know what time. Like 15 GMT? I think it's 15 GMT tomorrow, right? Maybe we find that out. Let me check. So 15 GMT, Leary against JorDan, and following that one we have Winchester against the Viper, best of 9 final. Tomorrow will be insane. Yeah. MBL beat Winchester, Viper beat MBL. Oh yeah, they're coming from the same group. True. Interesting mix mash there. And yeah, we will hear it from the Viper interviewed by Riley over from Mem's stream.
He's probably my best friend inside Age of Empires. So it's always bittersweet, you know, when you play an opponent that is also your teammate.
Yeah, of course.
And,
Well, look,
especially now it's his birthday, so it's a bit sad, but at the same time, it is what it is.
yeah, I mean, look, one of you had to lose, of course, and at the end of the day, it wasn't you. So well done there. You certainly, I mean, look, we definitely got our money's worth from that set. We saw some really tight and clinical play from you, but we also saw ballista elephants, which isn't something we often see at this sort of level of competition. What do you think about that unit choice from JorDan there in game number 2?
It was definitely an interesting choice. I wasn't really sure I wasn't sure how. I thought I was going to be in a losing position long term that game because he had 4 relics and he had. I would say Commerce should be better in post-game than Britons, but yeah, the Ballista Elephant switch definitely caught me off guard. It did really well though in the opening, but I think I found a way to cost-effectively kind of trade it down. So,
Guys, the webcam is still not delayed 2 minutes, right?
I would say it didn't work out for him. If he went for Siege Ram, for example, he would have definitely had like a bigger potential to make a big push, but Ballista Elephants, I mean, at least they're a cool unit.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's unfortunate we're not in a ballista elephant meta, but, you know, so it goes. Let's talk about game number 3. Obviously, a couple of fumbles and stumbles there with the Bulgarians. Do you think there was anything glaringly obvious that went wrong for you? Was it the decision to go forward? Was it an execution issue? Talk to us about game 3 and how that kind of played out from your perspective.
Yeah, so I got inspired by an Indian player called Dragonstar with a Bulgarian's kind of like a small rush into a 5-man arms tower rush. And I figured on this map it might have a lot of potential. Unfortunately, he scouted it immediately. He knew exactly that my forward was coming, so he made perfect reactions nonstop to everything I did. So I didn't have the kind of surprise factor that I was hoping for, and also the map was not ideal to forward either because his woodlines were kind of safe towards the back. So, but yeah, in the end, it was his perfect reactions that kind of shut me down.
Okay, yeah, because obviously, yeah, that was the one that I guess, yeah, him seeing it coming was a bit of a fork in the works there for you. Let's move on, and I want to talk about game number 5. I want to talk about the the elephant theft, the poaching that was taking place in the King's Forest there. What was going through your mind before you nicked that elephant from JorDan? You know, were you waiting for the right? Talk to us about the process from with the elephant in the early stages of that game.
So before the set, I did tell JorDan that I will not, I will treat him like anyone. I will not, just because we're friends and whatever, I will not lame him. So I will take his sheep if I find them. But I didn't say boars. So I didn't know if he would take my boars himself. But yes, like even when I was scouting his boars and saw both his elephants, I was confused because I had already taken my elephant. So it would be really late for him to now take his first elephant. Because I wasn't sure if I was lamed at that point. I still had some black spots that I had to scout. But yeah, I just had to give it a little bit more time to cover those black spots, and then I realized, okay, I'm lamed. And then luckily I was able to hit that elephant just as the arrows came in from the villager.
Yeah, right. Final thing I want to ask you about here, Viper, is of course your opponent in the final. It is none other than the young Russian Winchester, who has been taking names like there is no tomorrow. He has knocked out Hera, Misty Yo, Leary, the 1, 3, and 4 or 5th seeds, I believe, top seeds anyway. How are you feeling about coming up against this bloke? Are the nerves starting to settle in? Because he looks to be in great touch. How are you feeling about tomorrow's match against Winchester?
It's going to be interesting. Winchester, obviously, he has been a very good player for a long time, but this is probably his, even though he has had like top 4 finishes in the past, the fact that he's now gotten there to the final now by beating those types of players is, it's a really huge achievement for him. And yeah, I was sure Lyra would win that set. And then to have Winchester win that so dominantly is really impressive. So yeah, it should be a really interesting set tomorrow. I'm hoping to come out ahead. But yeah, I haven't looked at Winchester's games in detail because I never expected him to be in the final. No offense to him as a player, obviously, but like if I've been watching games, I've been more looking at towards Leary, Hera, Yo, these guys, right? But yeah, Winchester definitely proved me and many other people wrong here by an amazing performance.
Well, it sounds like you've got some homework to do then, Viper. Got to go and watch the tapes, get inside Winchester's head for the big match. Huge match, of course, tomorrow. Viper, thanks for joining us. We cannot wait to see you performing in tomorrow's final.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.